What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday night throwdown. And joining me tonight is one of our longtime panelists, Drew the Supreme Heretic. And we also have a special guest, Raquel Briggs. How are you doing, Raquel?
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We actually just got done with the Pegasus Actual podcast, and I know Drew's been wanting to have me on for a long time, and I was able to make it, and we had a good time talking about Battlestar Galactica.
You were terrific on this show tonight. You are a bona fide nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know your stuff, dude.
Well, thank you. I like to think I do on occasion. But yeah, I mean, it's that episode in particular, which was the season 3, episode 1. Was just a fantastic episode. So we had a lot to talk about with that.
Mm-hmm.
So how
Toxic Man Flu already. Yes, quite an upgrade from Culture Casino to Raquel.
I love you, TMF. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah. So
hey, Dizzy, hail to you, man. Nice.
Yeah, hail to the whole chat. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
I know. I think it's funny because Disease and oh man, I'm gonna mess this up again. It's
I see Bad Bunny, the bad Canadian.
Oh wow, Bad Bunny's here. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess up your name again. It's like Sherific 1, I think is
Sherific 1.
Sherific 1. There we go. I know I was butchering it last stream. Sorry, dude. Yeah, he even does it again. Sherific 1. Yeah, there we go. I know there's been some conversations being had, and I think it's kind of funny because Grand Moff Inquisitor calls me a bitch because I built my AR platform on the left side rather than on the right side because I can't shoot rifles right-handed because I'm blind in my right eye.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's long story. That was not fun.
You didn't get your eyes scooped out like Colonel Ty.
No, I didn't get my eyes scooped out. I'm don't have a glass eye or anything crazy like that. It's just a genetic defect that happened when I was 25. So good times. So we got lots of people in here.
Yeah, Tree Rock Creations, Wookiee Supremacy, Brutal Morningwood, man, one of the solid supporters of this channel.
Literally and figuratively, folks. Yeah. He's a solid. Drew's letting you know he's a solid.
We also have Naughty Monkey Orith.
Yep. And of course, hey, Roof Korean, fancy meeting you here.
No, I know, right? Oh my God, Parrot Head. It's as if we hadn't just seen each other. We also have Blah here. We have Sultan. So we even have Slithering Peanut.
Yep. And Tree Rock Creations.
Tree Rock Creations.
The name.
Solid dude.
The handles.
Yes. And Crazy Cat Guy for $3 with a super sticker for Fox saying, how's it going? I think it's going. It's going pretty decent here. How about you two?
Oh gosh, hey, man! Look at the floodgates you opened up here already. Comics and Parrot Head. Oh god.
All right, I'll get to this comment in a second. Storyman Jack is here for $2. Good evening, amazing people. Good evening to you,
Storyman Jack. Great to see you, buddy.
Oh, now I gotta find Parrot Head's comment. All right. Comics was enjoying some alone time and shot himself in the eye. Oh, dude, I wish. No, fortunately, my eye is in one piece. Just the insides are kind of messed up.
All I could say is all I can think about is Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
No, I mean it's like it's not even anything like as cool as that. Like I got shot in the eye or anything like that.
You didn't get a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas?
No. Okay, so this long story short, the blood vessel that runs through the optic nerve was enlarged, and it was a condition I had throughout my entire life. When I was a kid, I was diagnosed with it. They were more concerned about it leaking protein, and when I was 25, it popped.
Oof.
Yeah. So it basically caused scar tissue to form on the back of my eye, and yeah, that's I'm technically blind, though I do have vision. And the reason why I can't see is because the light, when it refracts off the back of the eye, it's refracting off scar tissue. So that's the gory story.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Nothing cool, man. Nothing like I got stabbed in the eye in a knife fight. nothing cool like that.
I would be making
messes with you. You should just say.
I would be making shit up. I'd be like telling something cool.
I got shot in the eye. Pistols at 12 paces.
Yeah, and tell a different story each and every single time. You know what I mean? Just to mess with people. Just be like, yeah.
Yes. Nice.
I got my eye scratched by a cat when I was flying in a ship with Carol Danvers. Yep.
Oh God, that's great.
Great fun. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically how it works. So I have to shoot left-handed with rifles, but apparently they have these attachments where you could have the scope go off to the other side. So I might do that. So considering I do have a few rifles that are still right-handed.
Yeah, Cabatano Che, if you decide that you want to do that, please reach out. Let me know, buddy.
Wouldn't you have to compensate for the sight then? Because then wouldn't the sight be off by a few
Yeah,
inches?
you still have to sight it in and adjust it. So
yeah.
All right, M. Sheffic wins so far. I said I had a fight with some Somali pirates.
I'm blind in my right eye when I got in the fight with some Somali pirates.
Seriously, I'm telling you, you should adopt this strategy. Tell a different.
You want to know how I lost my sight to my right eye? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's one time.
That's
I was
right.
pouring sugar in my father's gas tank, and my father was a habitual smoker, and he put his cigar out in my eye.
Oh.
I pissed my father off once so much. When he was spanking me with a switch, I turned around to smile, and he smacked me in the eye, causing me to go blind. Yeah, there we go.
Scary, scary stories. Just raising your street cred.
Disease says I got in an eye fight with Cyclops.
No. I like the come at me bro stories better. They're way better.
Yeah.
Floaters sometimes make it difficult to read. Yeah, that I run into that too, dude. It happens all the time when I'm reading shit on stream. It's like either my contact will get a little bit blurry or something, or I'm just being dyslexically dumb. Comics got into a fight with an SJW and it scratched his eye out.
Man.
Yes.
FNP90 is an ambidextrous rifle comics division.
Oh, well, really?
Bad Bunny, I don't know. If he gets a P90, what's he going to do? Join SG1? I mean, come on.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Those are pretty cool. So comics, tell us when you were an international arms dealer and you lost your eye to a bad deal somewhere in Ebolistan. Well, dude, if I tell you about that, I might go to jail. So let's just keep that on the down low, man.
If he tells you that story, he might have to take out your eye as well, Bloss. So
comic sounds like Gary in Team America when he tells the story about the gorilla.
Nice.
I seriously, I really need to watch Team America World Police. I have.
That's a great movie. That's classic shit.
Oh.
America, fuck yeah!
He's here to save the motherfucking day. Yeah.
BZ Bedico says, I was watching Star Trek Discovery and a blood vessel in my eye exploded. Yes. Dude, that is facts right there.
Yeah, STD is the place to go to lose an eye, that's for sure.
Yep. So
especially if you're E-Chep.
Yeah, God, yeah. Jesus.
Sorry.
No, it's just like that episode. It's like you open up your episode with that. It's like Star Trek of all the motherfucking things. You open up with a guy getting his eye ripped out. It's like I seriously seriously want to dick punch Alex Kurtzman. I know everyone says he doesn't have a dick. I get that, but still.
No, I listen. I am right in that line with you, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh God,
my arm's not long enough where that seems like an attractive option. So I think I would go with foot on that one. Just a kick. Do you know what I mean? But a woman doesn't have the upper body strength of a man, right?
Yeah, it's the lower body strength that counts.
Yeah.
Rip Korean says sheer effing hubris.
Tina Motion for $2 comics, the first person to identify as a lefty.
Oh, Tina.
Oh, that's so hurtful, Tina. It really is.
That cut deep, Tina.
Hey, you know, comics. You need you got the come on, man. You need to add. In there.
I do. Real quick.
Come on, man.
There we go. And Elton is right. Star Trek Dead Space.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That show.
You need to add in the clip in your kind of thing of clips there. You need to add in the sheer effing hubris.
Sheer fucking hubris.
You mean that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His D looks like a Ferengi ear, I bet. Does he?
What?
Look at Duzzy's comment at 53 minutes after the hour.
His D looks like a Ferengi ear.
Oh, God.
I mean, it needs a comma, right? I bet his D looks like a Ferengi ear. But anyway.
Sheer fucking hubris.
All right.
You know what sheer effing hubris is? Wearing that color of lipstick without lip liner. What's going on there? You know what I mean? She looks like a bleeding wound. It doesn't look like lips.
I have to say that the sheer fucking hubris was actually the entire season of Picard.
Yeah, it was
Garbage.
And newsflash, you're gonna get a season 2 of it, folks.
I can't wait to slam my balls in a drawer watching that show again. Because that's exactly how I described watching it. It was just as painful.
It's funny. Wingus Dingus, what a name.
Yeah, Wingus Dingus is great. Let's see. Kurtzman doesn't have the lobes to make this a social subject series. I just realized I wasn't on the chat to be able to hold, to show it. Anyway. Let's talk about Warner Brothers and how they're going to destroy cinema as we know it, shall we?
Oh God, yeah.
All right, let me go find. Here we go. Yeah, so this is something that kind of came across my desk today. Warner Brothers smashes box office windows, will send entire 2001 slate to HBO Max and theaters. Well, that's so nice of you to send them to theaters too. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I think this is going to signal the death of movie theaters in this country, which is pretty unfortunate.
Oh, it's absolutely the death knell of theaters. I mean, how can theaters compete with that? You've got all these, no matter how you feel about the lockdowns, I'm definitely, against them, but you've got people stuck in their homes. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
So if a new movie's coming out, they're going to go to HBO Max. They're not going to go down the road to theater and, go through all that rigmarole of paying extra, because the theaters are going to charge extra to try to recoup something.
Yeah, but when they add and theaters, like, have you guys read this article all the way through?
No, I haven't read it yet. Normally I do, but I was reading it live. But real quick, I got to address two things real quick. So Ruth Korean is talking about Katie Hudson leaving BioWare again. I saw that. It's something that's not on the list, but we will talk about it. And we also have Emotional Unstable Amphibian, and he sent me a care package of singles, front 242 singles, along with a Frontline Assembly single. And this is so awesome, dude. I do appreciate it because these are things there's no way in hell I was getting a hold of. I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet. I got to set up a I wouldn't say a CD player, but I need to set up a CD player for my Mac because it doesn't have one. And get everything imported in iTunes and then store those away in the vault because that is so fucking awesome of you, dude. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that I was able to get to the mailbox before USPS decided to ship it back because sometimes I don't get notifications, which is kind of annoying. I actually had 2 Indiegogo books shipped back because I didn't get a notification. And I don't check it on a regular basis. So I'm putting it into that. I'm going to be checking my mailbox every Friday. So I don't lose stuff that I pay for. Yay. So let's see. Toxic Man Flu. Yeah, you were the last super chat. So let's cover that real quick. Toxic Man Flu for 5 American pesos. Okay, we're having a great time making fun of a partially blind man, and you had to change the subject to entertainment. Fine. Yeah, I know, man. I'm so horrible. As much as I like mocking cripples, myself included, sometimes you just got to move on to the main topic, man. So sorry.
So bad. Yeah, I agree with you, Drew, Supreme Heretic. I totally agree with you on your comments. My concern is this and theaters. And so here in Canada, the reportage has been a little bit different. See, we don't have HBO Max here. So that means that we can't access any of this stuff. So they're going to be running it in theaters up here.
Well, we know that everyone's still living in teepees in Canada, and that's the reason why they're releasing it to movie theaters.
They want to give us all the vid, so yeah, that's always fun.
We'll be mailing you VHS tapes.
Yeah, it's really bad. Do you know what I mean? You got to send it to me on Betamax.
Oh, Betamax. Well, the funny thing is, like, Betamax was the superior format.
Yeah.
It's just that they didn't want to have porn, and the reason why VHS won was because of porn. That's not a joke. That's actually true.
All you had to do is put a little bit of tape over it, and you could put whatever you wanted on your Betamax. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, come on, Bad Bunny. You know it's out of love, dude. I love Canada. I've been to Vancouver. It's pretty awesome. I love my Canadian friends. But if you ever watched Clerks the animated series, that's basically how they portrayed Canada.
I've never watched that.
Oh, it's really funny.
The animated Clerks is pretty hysterical.
It really sucks up here because we don't have HBO Max. So this is essentially cutting off an entire country.
That's so
North Koreans coming.
Where is it?
We have VHS.
You guys. Yes, Bad Bunny. Crave offers HBO. The problem is that you usually have to get it through your cable provider, and then you buy into your tier, and then you pay $26 for it or whatever. And it is so abridged from the American version that you feel like it's the kiddie version, and it's so disappointing.
It's so abridged. They've removed Donald Trump from Home Alone 2.
Well, I can tell you that all of the cool shows will not be on it. Dune will not be on it. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks.
All right, so. In an unprecedented announcement, the studio will send 17 films, including The Matrix 4, The Suicide Squad, and Dune, to its streaming service for 31 days, the same day as they hit theaters. Yeah, which who do you think is going to win out there, folks? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the streaming service.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is plotting and sweeping response to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which has shuttered movie theaters around the country after announcing that Wonder Woman 1984 will go to HBO Max as well as theaters December 25th. The studio has laid out a similar path for its 2021 slate amid uncertainty about when moviegoing will be back to normal. And I think the key word is never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Even after COVID, the restrictions are going to go on for quite a while because they're going to, do a gradual transition or transition back to normal. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
That's going to be a gradual passage of about a decade. It's not going to be any back to normal. Because I hate to tell you, there's a whole lot of people right now that got a lot of power real quick out of this thing, and they're not going to give it up, folks. So buckle up.
Yeah, that's the concern. And as I've talked about the Great Reset, I definitely think that is playing into what's going on. And
100%.
Yeah. The studio announced Thursday and date release for its 17-film slate, which will hit HBO Max for a 1 month window that starts the same day they will be available in U.S. theaters. The studio's 2021. There we go. I can say words. Yes, I can. Slate includes projects such as Suicide Squad, The Matrix 4, Dune, Godzilla vs. King Kong, and Space Jam, a new destruction of another franchise.
Exactly. That's exactly what that is.
I was trying to think of something witty.
Another reboot.
Yeah. Space Jam, the reboot. Matrix 4, the reboot, kind of. Oh, God, I'm not looking forward to Matrix 4. I'm really not.
Hey, real quick on your comment, Disease. Yes, I do remember the days when MTV played music videos. I remember going to my buddy's house and spending the night just to watch Headbangers Ball.
I remember the days of HBO. I remember the days of MTV when they had a whole 3 videos that played, and they would just cycle through them.
I remember that
over and over.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. We'll be playing Video Killed the Radio Star again for the 500th time today.
Terrible song. Yes. Head desk.
But yeah, I mean, out of all these things, there's only 2 I'm really interested in, which is the Suicide Squad. Because James Gunn does a pretty good job with his movies. And then you have Godzilla versus King Kong. I kind of enjoyed the last Godzilla movie.
So did I. And it's funny because we're kind of between you and I, comics, we're kind of in the minority on that one. Mm-hmm. I mean, because I enjoyed the last Godzilla movie as well, and I was really intrigued about Godzilla versus Kong. But yeah, I mean, in my case, I don't really know what to do about this because as it is, I mean, my situation personally because you're my buddy. You know what's going on here. So, I'm struggling. I can't really afford to get HBO Max or anything. So, I mean, I'm just screwed out of seeing these movies every which way.
Yeah.
Unless I can make my way to the theater for at least Godzilla versus Kong. And I want to see Suicide Squad as well because I want to know what's going on with that because as you said, I want to see James Gunn's take on it, and I kind of like the cast they put together for that film. So, I want to see how that all works out.
I am too. I mean, I forgot Dune's on there. Dune, I'm not a big Dune fan.
Yeah.
It's definitely not one of those movies I'm going to rush out and see, but because I have a YouTube channel, I will. So the movies I will see to review will include Matrix 4. It might be good, it might not, but
yeah,
I'm not holding my breath. Not in 2020.
Well, as somebody who has read the unabridged version of Dune, which is, a pretty heavy tome, it's about the size of War and Peace. Mm-hmm. I don't think that will ever be properly done. So it remains to be seen. You might not be missing much if you pass on it.
No, and you know what, Raquel? I think you're right about that.
I like the Dune series that came out on Sci-Fi. You know, I know that it's essentially kind of the abridged version of it, but it was, I thought, really well done. And I had some friends that were big into Dune, and they enjoyed the series. But you know, it's like I never really watched the original Dune. I never read the books, so you know, being dyslexic and all, it's, you know, me reading big ass thick books is just not going to freaking happen.
Yeah, but you missed out on Sting. Really?
Well, it's like, yeah, all right. I've seen it, but like a long time ago, like in the 80s. So, yeah, for what it's worth. Yeah, kind of. I saw it kind of. I probably watched it a number of times when I was younger, and I just don't remember.
You know, I don't know how to feel about Mortal Kombat on that list, because to me, the old Mortal Kombat movies aren't going to be, you know,
at least Mortal Kombat 1, you know, that one was fun. Other films include Little Things. I haven't heard that. Judas and the Black Messiah. I think I remember seeing a trailer for that, and it's just like, yeah, that just seems very 2020 to me, even though it's set like in the 70s or 60s or something like that.
A lot of these probably are. It's just flat out, you know, 2020.
Yeah, they're doing a Tom and Jerry movie.
Please don't. Like, why? Why are they doing this? They just leave Tom and Jerry alone.
I saw that. It has what's her name in it? Chloe Grace Moretz. There's a trailer for it.
Oh God, is it live action plus cartoons?
Oh no.
Or animation?
It looks like live action. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Make it stop. Mortal Kombat, Those Who Wish Me Dead. Never heard of it. We're getting another Conjuring movie. The Devil Made Me Do It. In the Heights. Reminiscence.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what this other one is. Malignant. Okay.
Yep.
Third.
I don't see
the Many Saints of Newark, King Richard, and Cry Macho.
Yeah, the King Richard sounds interesting to me. Doing that again. We're going to go back to King Richard again. So we'll see.
I don't know. I just, I mean, outside of like maybe a handful, there isn't any movies on that list like remotely I intriguing to make me want to either order it on a paid service like HBO Max or go to a theater.
Yep, what a great comment.
Personally, I'd rather go to a theater, and the reason why is because A, I'm not scared of the coof, and B, I'd rather support my local theater, and I'm in a lot of ways I'm kind of done giving money to Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers is just trash at this point. I mean, look, we're going to be talking about another article. You know, I did a video on it talking about I Am Not Starfire. We're going to be talking about it again because we have some low tier entertainment, which is coming from the Mary Sue in regards to this. But it's like we're getting crap like that. They hired Patrice Cullors from BLM to be a consultant, and it's just like, why? But and then they fired him. They fired so many freaking people.
Exactly. It's
yeah, DC, man, they are flushing DC down the toilet fast. It's at breakneck speeds. It's pretty unfortunate. The unprecedented move is likely to catch theater owners off guard and upset a model that has been in place for decades. Warner Brothers stresses that these are pandemic-only rules. Well, here's the funny thing about when you try and implement something. In development, we have a saying that typically when anything hits production, it stays that way. So it's the reason why developers try to make sure that their code is as perfect as possible before it gets released, because when something is done poorly, it tends to stick around. And it's going to be the same thing with these pandemic rules. Once it hits production, they're not going to go away.
No, probably.
And more importantly, I think it's going to have a profound impact on people's behavior. It's not just the vid. It's the fact that a lot of people are there's been a cultural shift in movie going. you go to the movies now and a lot of people consider it a community babysitting center. So you could be watching a rated R movie and there's a 6-month-old baby being breastfed and there's a 5-year-old kid running around in the front. And then, of course, it just the whole experience of it is changing. Up here, we had a couple of theaters that had bed bugs. So, it's really expensive.
What?
People are using cell phones. People are using it as a babysitting center. It's not the theater going experience. It's a very fragile one. And I agree with you, Comics Division. I think that once they go down that path, it's going to be hard to put the genie back in the bottle, to use a tired.
It's, and the other thing too, this is what True Rock Creations brings up. Anthem is a perfectly good example of that. Something that got, I would say, was a lot of smoke and mirrors when they showed the trailer or the
it was all
game
flash.
footage at E3, and it was like completely not even close.
All flash, and that game turned out to be no substance. There was nothing to it. Not even the flash.
Complete crap.
Yep, it was awful.
Yeah, and the author agrees with me. But once something is broken, can you really put it back together again?
No.
And the answer is no. This all raises serious concerns about the landscape movie going in 2021. Yeah. Toby Emmerich, Warner Brothers Pictures Group's chairman, argued the move would be good for the theatrical business in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it will be great for theaters. People not giving them money to watch them on your streaming platform. I'm sure that is a great business model for theaters.
They've already, they've already cut their revenue in more than half, and you're telling them to cut it in even more. That's going to kill off theaters, plain and simple.
Absolutely. And we have 2 Canadian pesos coming from Mr. Tickle Trunk. It's a super sticker of a fox with farting hearts. Thank you. Welcome back, sir. It allows us to do a global release and a national release, and what we think is going to be a checkerboarded theatrical marketplace for the bulk of 2021. Emmerich told The Hollywood Reporter, we think where theaters are open and consumers can go, that a lot of people would choose to go to the theater, especially for a big movie. Wrong. More people are going to be watching it from their home, from the comfort of their own home, because they don't have to go to the theater.
They don't have to go to the snack bar.
Yeah.
They can have a cigarette.
They can have a cigarette.
They can drink a beer. They don't have to babysit somebody else's kids.
And Dr. Venkman, pirate flag. Yeah, exactly, dude. Streaming equals piracy. Yes, that's the other issue too. Is why would somebody pay, depending on how many people are going, upwards of $20 to $50 to go see a movie in a theater when they can watch it for the most part for free, depending on if they're doing the Mulan model, which is charge people $30 for it.
Yeah.
Why go to the theater at that point?
Yeah. Well, they're no Dana White, I can tell you that. People aren't going to be like buying $30 to broadcast it. It's not the UFC, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
People are just going to pirate it, especially once this leaves the US border, it's open season. And people don't understand that that's one of the reasons why people are pirating worldwide. It's not even because they don't want to pay. It's because it's not available. Like, what are they doing? HBO Max? Come on.
Yep.
Dumb move.
Yeah. And here's the thing is I do believe in supporting movies and artists and whatnot. But I can tell you this. I actually had Tenet on my Plex server the night I went to go see it. So yes, I could have very easily just watched it from home, but like I said, I wanted to support
You
my
sound
local
like
theater.
a typical Generation X, and I'm sorry to say, but that sounds pretty fair. Like, but hear me out here. I think people don't understand where our generation is coming from, because we were here before all this. And the thing is if I go out and I buy Metallica and Justice for All, and I've got that on cassette, I don't feel so bad if I make a second copy of it for my car. And that's the mentality that we had, because I paid the artist, it belongs to me. And that moved into our computers, right? How many of us ripped our CDs onto our desktops only to have them taken away? It's crap.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So it's pretty funny. There's a lot of things that I've bought over the years. I mean, honestly, I bought more CDs back in 2000 because of Napster. And I found a lot of stuff I couldn't normally find or get a hold of. So that's the big thing, which is true about our generation, is the fact that, we may pirate, but we also support the people. So if you buy something, there's lots of things I bought over the years. Sometimes I got them on cassette, and I end up rebuying them on CD.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do they want us to pay for this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's like, if I've already bought something like a couple times, I'm just gonna fucking download it. and if I can't find something too, I'm gonna download it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is how the world works. But yeah, I mean, with the younger generations, they don't have that appreciation, I think, that we do. And it's like when we talk about SJWs and the whole thing, when SJWs don't read comics, they don't watch TV shows, they don't watch movies. Well, I should say they don't pay for it. They're just going to go and pirate it straight up. So, yeah. And the other thing too, there's also the whole mixtape thing when we were kids too, right? When we copied CDs. Oh, dude, Johnny bought the new Guns N' Roses album. Crank out the dual cassette recorders, and we used to do that shit all the time.
We were so good at that, and that was great. You slam that in your Walkman.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
Despite word of coming vaccines, the company decided to put the entire 2021 slate on HBO Max after consulting with epidemiologist. Emmerich said the move was a guarantee as many movies as we could for the year for the global theatrical marketplace. Sources say these discussions were kept close to the vest and not shared with many exhibitors. Warner Brothers will likely have to agree to far more generous terms. There we go, with theater owners. Yeah, that's for sure going to have to be done, because they need to make money to avoid them boycotting their films. Oh yeah, but what do you do? I mean, at this point, the whole thing with I feel like this is a catch-22. So as is, the margins on films are pretty freaking tight, because there's the cost of the film and then there's the cost of marketing. So they really do rely on the revenue that is coming from the theater to recoup what they basically spent. And sometimes they get that money back. Sometimes they make a lot of money. And this is the problem when they have these huge ass budgets, that it is so much more difficult to go and recoup that money.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to see some small screen budgeting in the years ahead if we're going to push for streaming. I'd like to see streaming expand and go international. I mean, so many people around the world, they're frustrated. They want access to the U.S. media, and they can't get it. And I don't really mind that these budgets are going to be tamed. I don't really need all this CGI. I want to return to an age of artisanship. I really enjoyed these model makers and painters and all of these prodigiously gifted people bringing this art to us, something that we cared about, where there was a lot of emphasis on story quality and what was being presented to us. And now they don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like I understand why like independent filmmakers would want to go to CG because it's a lot easier to do something. But I mean, like the entire industry is moving away from even shooting on location, shooting on sound stages. Your sound stage is going to be what they're doing with The Mandalorian, where you're basically shooting on a digital, or I guess it's LED, as Culture Casino was talking about. It's a LED matte painting, essentially. I mean, I guess you could say we're kind of moving towards how they used to make movies back in the golden age of film.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like I agree with you, Raquel. The whole thing, the artistry, I wouldn't say is lost. It's been replaced, and there's some amazing CG work that has been done over the years. But at the same time, you know, what's kind of cool about the physical prop is, you know, you can sell that physical prop. And then, you know, collectors, you know, I think it'd be cool for God knows, way too much money than I would ever care to spend. I could buy an original X-Wing from Star Wars if I was so inclined.
Yeah.
You won't get that.
I think it's going to tame some egos. I guess that's what I'm really driving at, is that we're going to have to pull these, you know, $1 billion and we're going to have to be a little bit more realistic. So, you know, maybe somebody won't make 50 million, 75 million for you know, acting for 2 hours in a movie. That might not be the future. And
they're gonna have to check that sheer fucking hubris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No. Well, the other thing too. I mean, at this point, you know, the age of the $1 billion movie is over because of the coof. It's not happening. It's not happening again.
Nope.
No, that's all there is to it. And the reason why is because of what has happened with the coof. And the one of the big issues with theaters is that the reason why they've been dying is because you know, people just aren't going. They've been really kind of shifting to overseas markets. Those are the people that they want to make happy.
Yes.
And that's the reason why it's we're not getting the entertainment that we're kind of accustomed to and that we enjoy, is because of that. And it's unfortunate. And occasionally you'll get something that is incredibly done and is done on the cheap, like Joker. I mean, that was a great movie. And that was a movie I was completely wrong about, because I thought it was going to be another woke piece of garbage, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it handled the subject matter very well.
It actually turned out to be a friggin', you know, modern day, like, it's one of the masterpiece films of modern day right now.
Yeah. No, it certainly did. And it's like those are the type of movies that we need to get. I feel like when you have a movie that doesn't have a constrained budget, you're going to lose that innovation and creativity, because it's that constraints, you know, working within constraints makes you more creative, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because you have to go and find, okay,
absolutely.
how are we going to do this? How are we going to tell this story? How are we going to make it good? And I think a lot of these modern movies, they just suffer from bloat.
I totally agree with you, and I think that the shallowness of this you know, visual feast that just never stops moving. I think it's sort of spoiled movies. It's spoiled film in many ways. I think a lot of people enjoy the original Star Wars trilogy far more than they enjoy the most modern CGI. And there has to be a specialness on the final product. The final product should take you somewhere. It should be in an immersive experience that you invest yourself in. You know, I challenge anybody to think back to all of these action movies that they've created, these Marvel comic movies that they've created, and the stories really aren't there. And no. I think that it's kind of sad, because comics give us a lot of really great stories. And,
well, you know, I'm glad that you hit on that, Raquel, because, you know, I can tell you firsthand, the thing with the Marvel movies is they were a lot of fluff and a lot of flash. But
I would say most of them. You did have some really good ones, like Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was good. Was a great movie.
Yeah, some of them are great. Some of them are terrific. But then some of them, it's kind of like, well, we had this big, long train and everybody thought it was sexy and wonderful. And now we're just going to caboose this in and we're going to pretend that it's a big, long, sexy train. And it's not. It's just, it's, I don't know. It seems like they just want to siphon money out of the public, right?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's what Disney ended up turning into with Marvel. Did you see the movie 1917?
No.
Oh my God, that is an amazing movie.
Really good.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. That came out this year, right?
Last year.
Was it last year? Maybe it was last year. I don't know.
Irish movie.
I think it was Irish. Yeah.
Yeah. I have seen that. Yeah, I saw that movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those movies. I don't know if they actually did a lot of CG or not, but it was just so well done.
Talking about the Irish famine, yeah.
No, 1917. No, this is a war movie.
This is a World War
Oh,
I.
this is a war movie. Okay. And the 1917, that the year would be totally off. I'm just sort of grappling, trying to figure out what film you're talking about.
No, it talks about World War I, and it's it's just a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, it was really good.
They all run into each other for me now. Like I don't know how you guys feel, but like sometimes I feel like a moron because it seems like these movies all run into one another. And
a lot
part of it has to do with how I'm watching it. Do you guys feel the same way? Like if we're constantly seeing these things on Netflix, it sort of feels like a lot of times these movies, these films are passing through us like water through a duck.
I agree. And that's kind of the problem with the binging model is that
saturation.
Yeah, it's saturation. It's the thing that I like about the modern, or I wouldn't say the modern TV model, but the typical week to week model is the fact that, and I agree with Gary on this, it gets you talking about the show. It lasts longer. One of the main issues with specifically when I was watching the Marvel ones is I was watching it on a weekend. I'd talk about it once and that was it.
Yeah.
And that was, I know that Red Letter Media complained about the thing with The Boys being released weekly. I disagree with them. It kept me wanting to watch the show. It kept me talking about the show despite my issues with it. But, it wasn't like, everything was done in a weekend. Now I can move on to something else. And that's the thing. It's like when you binge watch something, nothing sinks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also kind of one of the major issues with Marvel is that when you have everything that is so fast moving and epic and spectacular and all these other buzzwords I'm going to throw out there or descriptors, it doesn't sink in. When I saw Endgame, I barely remembered the movie.
Yeah. And it's getting worse for me. Like like you said, 1917. I actually think I've seen this movie, but like I said, it's just passing like water through a duck. None of this stuff is sticking with me. It seems like I got to watch like 20 movies for something to resonate with me, something that I walk away and I think about afterwards, and I feel attached to it. Yeah,
and Tree Rock Creation. Sorry, dude. I would highlight it, but because I haven't gotten the super chats yet, I don't want to lose my place. But he says 1917 had 3 main characters in the movie. 2 main characters were soldiers. The other one, scenery, background. And you are absolutely correct. And it is one of those movies that it's brutal. I mean, they're basically kind of going through no man's land. And it's this area that has been shelled to death. There's so much death between dead soldiers, horses, craters from explosions. I mean, it was just so well done. And it's so gritty.
It puts you in the
terrible. It really does. I mean, have you seen Saving Private Ryan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, it reminded me of that movie because of the way the scenery was done and just the brutality of war. I mean, it's one of those movies where when people say war is hell, this is a good example of it because you see it.
Yeah.
And it's not that the majority of it, there's not a whole lot of fighting. There is some in it, but it is the aftermath of the battle. And it really depicts how terrible war is.
I don't know if you got to it, but Bad Bunny a little while back asked a question of the panel, and Bad Bunny says, Warner Brothers sells out 2021. Will the others follow suit? And if so, when? And I think Bad Bunny, what's going to happen is, if this is a semi-successful model for Warner Brothers,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen next year.
Yeah, you best believe by next year it's all going to be. Yeah,
I think so too.
You know, that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely. All right, let me get these super chats. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, these companies don't stand on their own. They all follow one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Let's get some super chats real quick, and then we will go back to the article. Garth Pacer Stabber for 5 American pesos. I really hope we're not headed towards the Ready Player One route. I kind of feel like we are in a weird sort of way. Living in stacked trailer parks is not my idea of a dream life. Well, I mean, if you get the Great Reset, buddy, that's our future. We're going to be eating our bug protein while the rich elites eat their steaks and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Putin's power squat.
Kudos on the name.
Yeah, for $5. I went full digital for a while, but I've started to buy some physical media again. I agree. I'm there with you. Manga, some of my favorite games, etc. Most new stuff isn't worth it though. I agree, and I'm right there, man. It's like when they released iTunes, suddenly I had the ability to go and find music that I had been searching for. I'm a big fan of a lot of bands that are on the Metropolis label, and back in the 2000s, it was hard to find. I mean, we had Borders, we go to Borders, and occasionally maybe I could find some V&V Nation, some A-Pop Berserk, but it was hard to find. And typically I'd have to order stuff off their website. Suddenly, all those bands that I enjoy listening to, all those artists are at my fingertips, and I can buy them off iTunes. Oh, those were the good old days before, big companies have decided that they're going to start censoring their digital media because it's problematic. And that's
all that time we spent ripping all those CDs into iTunes. It was all for naught because it's all gone.
Yeah. Fortunately, I still have a lot of my RIP MP3s. I have a nasty habit of being a digital pack rat at times. So there's stuff I could probably go through and find all that stuff.
Yeah.
But fortunately for me, I never got rid of my CDs. I did get rid of the jewel cases, but I kept the sleeves. And I put them in, these big ass CD cases.
Leather book.
Yeah,
the leather book. Yeah, I have quite a few of those.
Yeah, but a lot of the music I started buying, I bought off Amazon. I bought off iTunes, and I was like, well, I can just pay $10 a month and listen to things digitally, or streaming.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, that was a fucking mistake. Should have bought the physical media.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Right. Riff Korean 92 for 5 American armadillo dollars. Are you following the upcoming movie Songbird, produced by Michael Bay? The trailer is grungy, like Joker, and so scarily topical and or fortuitous. Thank you. No, I haven't seen it. I think I might have heard the name before, but I have not actually seen it.
No.
But I'll have to go check that out. And we also have Mr. Tickletrunk for another 5 Canadian pesos. On YouTube, content creators give you a dozen episode reviews instead of 1 season review a year. Free advertising for months. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like if you release it weekly, you're going to have people who are going to review it on a weekly basis. It's like the Mandalorian Roundtable I do with Chris Knight. You know, we talk about it weekly. We give our thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's with like so many of us. You know, I mean, sure, The Mandalorian has plenty of faults. Probably has more faults than it does good points to it, but I do respect it for sticking to a weekly format.
Yeah.
Because you know, like clockwork, every Friday, you know, like you do a review, I go on and I do a you know, with the other my colleagues from Bounding, and we do a Mandalorian discussion. You know, it makes for a weekly companion discussion, and that's something that is definitely, you know, more beneficial to a show's longevity, that, you know, people are talking about it, because regardless, you're looking forward to that next week to go by to see the next episode.
Yeah. And real quick, I just realized I missed Toxic Man Flu's super chat for $2. HBO Max sounds like a laxative.
Yeah, it does. It does, for sure.
That is hilarious, dude. It does. So yeah. Anyway, back to this article. Insiders say Wonder Woman 1984 split of ticket sales is far better for exhibitors than normal. Sources say the studio did not inform partners such as Legendary, which has Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, that their films were included in this plan. Yeah, that's kind of worrisome. Emmerich would not comment on possible terms the studio might give theaters to show these films. He also noted he was excited for other studios to share their own plans, saying having movies out there is good for cinemas. Having movies in the cinemas is good for cinemas. Having it on streaming release day is not good for cinemas, because we all know, dude, you're fucking lying. People are just going to go sit on their ass at home and watch the movie there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, they took away all the romance, like we were saying earlier. They've removed all the romance from going to the theaters. I mean, just think about what it was like when we were young and when we would go to the drive-in. Wasn't it excellent that you would pull into the drive-in and it became an experience? At intermission, you'd go grab your crap, you'd eat, you'd talk about the movie a little bit more. There might even be a commercial, and then you go back to the movie. You know, I don't know. They've taken all the specialness away. So I don't think the public wants to fight to go to the theater anymore. And the other thing too, I know that people mention that, hey, drive-ins will stick around. And it's like, what drive-ins are left? I mean, I don't even think my town has a drive-in theater anymore. Oh, they ripped them all up, and now leasing agreements are so expensive. Who can afford to have a drive-in?
Yeah. We have a drive-in a few towns over from me. You know, and they still have double features every once in a while. And I'm sure people will continue to patronize that place. But the thing is, yeah, you know, again, I don't think that maybe a theater like that'll make money.
Well, here. Okay, this is what's going on. Apparently here in town, we have the drive-in theater at Fiesta, Texas. And I believe the Mission Marquee Plaza is still around. There was another, I don't know if that's the original one. Maybe it is. I thought that one closed down, but yeah, like the Mission Drive-In was like the one that survived during the 90s. I could have swore it got closed down, but now they have like these pop-up kind of theaters that are going on. Yeah. So I don't know. I just remember the last time I saw a movie at a drive-in, it was like Multiplicity.
Yeah, well, not even like the drive-in. I guess I'm trying to like evoke some feeling here and talk about the way that we felt like we were attending an event. Like, why not change the seats, make the seats more comfortable, modernize it, make sure that people can drink beer.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of theaters have done that.
They have, but at incredible cost to the customer, though. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's $18 for a beer. Like, what? Like, is this a hockey game? Am I at the Stanley Cup playoffs? Like, it's just, I think they need to find a balance of making it special again, and then maybe we'll fight to go back to doing that, right? And make it a part of our culture again.
Yeah.
But it just feels like we're moving away from it culturally. So it seems like all of this financial stuff and the vid are just making it worse.
Okay, so the great one is here. Personally, I find mass to be uncomfortable, and after 30 to 40 minutes, I feel like I'm heading towards a panic attack. Theater is no go for me right now, even if open. Well, here's the thing. You think people keep their masks on when they're sitting in a theater after the lights go down? No. When I saw Tenet, there was only 3 people in the theater, and none of us were wearing masks.
Yeah. Besides, it's kind of gonna suck that you can't do like you did back in the day and take a date to the movie theater and hollow out the part of the popcorn.
Oh boy. Are you talking about that? Are you really going to go there? Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. It's part of the experience.
Oh boy.
The popcorn.
Yeah. You eat all the popcorn, dude. And yeah.
Yeah. Bad Bunny, man, you cracked me up. The last movie I saw at a drive-in was American Graffiti. Showing your age, buddy. Showing your age.
Yeah, Tree Rock Creations. Absolutely. Laziness, convenience, prices, having to babysit people's kids, the cost, the cell phone usage, the quality of the films. It's all creating a convergence of social and economic factors that may just completely slaughter the theater experience. I agree with Comics Division. I agree with Drew's Supreme Heretic. I think that all of these things are converging, and it's going to be dangerous for the theaters.
Yeah, it really is. And here's the thing too, man. There's like 2 things that I think would suck to be right now during the coof: single and a kid. Because being a kid, I mean, it's like the things I've been hearing like parents do for like birthdays. It's like, that sucks. Yeah. Oh, we'll have the roll by birthday party. That's fantastic. And then I can't imagine. It's like I have some coworkers that are single and they're cooped up in their apartments. It's like I can't imagine. That would suck. And also, I can't imagine trying to date somebody wearing a mask. It's like, oh God, this is like.
I know.
I'm so glad I got married 18 years ago.
On my block, there was a kid who actually had a birthday, and an entire procession of cars, like a funeral, drove by and they were all dressed up as though it were for a wedding with balloons on them. And they honked for 20 minutes on the street. Happy birthday! We're gonna honk for 20 minutes.
We'll lob some sanitized presents at you.
Slingshot them at you.
Yeah. Toxic Man flew for $5. My dream is to buy land, put up a drive-in, and let weed grow wild everywhere. I'll make a killing. No concessions.
Move to Canada. Weed is legal here.
Oh, make a killing on concessions. Yeah.
You can live your dream up here.
Yeah.
There's definitely some places that are like that where you can, specifically California, I suppose. Yeah. Garth Pastry Stabber. What about theaters and food court / food truck combination? Well, where I'm at, food trucks are very popular, and they are. We have like parks where they just have like food trucks, and people go up and get stuff, and they're still open. Obviously doing some of the social distancing thing, but yeah, I mean, I like the idea. That'd be kind of cool. Food trucks in a drive-in. Yeah, I think that would work.
I think that's an excellent idea. I hope somebody's watching and uses that idea. That's a great idea.
The great one is here. Thing is, if government comes down on theaters about checking for masks, I'm the guy who gets caught. Fortunately, it's not illegal yet. Oh, give it time, I suppose.
Tree Rock
Yes.
Creations says, what can the theaters do to evolve? Not only do they laws were changed granting the studios permission. Yeah, in order for theaters to evolve, wow. I mean, even if they come up with a strategy just to reclaim that theater magic and make people consider it a special experience again. I agree with what Comics Division said earlier and what Supreme Heretic said earlier. We're not going to be out of this vid thing for like 2 years. No. By then, I'm not sure the public will be willing. Comics said that at the top of the show. Will they be willing? Can you put the genie back in the bottle?
Well, it's like what it takes, like 3 weeks to break a habit.
It does.
And this is like one of the issues with the lockdowns for this year, and the fear mongering of going out in public is that it breaks habits. Okay, it's like this is the reason why the comic book industry is suffering even more so than it already is, because most people who buy comics got out of the habit of buying comics.
They did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On top of the shitty things that we're getting from Marvel and DC.
Yeah, Soul Assassin puts forward the idea that we should have drive-in strip club movies.
Oh, baby!
Somebody mentioned that once before. Drive-in strip clubs.
I mean, I think that's a great idea, but Soul Assassin, just so you know, that wouldn't work in Canada because we don't have dollar bills; we have dollar coins. So we're going to get injured.
You're playing slots.
You could work it. Yeah, you could work it like insert coin.
Yeah, it gives a whole new meaning to toss a coin to your witcher.
Toss a coin to your stripper.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's like I said, this in my opinion, a lot of stuff that we're doing is basically social engineering at this point. Mr. Tickle Trunk, and you say the word dating. Dating has all but stopped right now, depending on where you live. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk. You know, look, I just go the very simple route. I have, I have an occasional booty call. That's it. You know, I mean, that's the way that it works. It keeps it simple.
Either that or he resorts to the popcorn container.
Fine, Raquel.
But yeah, I mean,
fleshlight smells like popcorn, folks.
Wow, you went there. Okay, now I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go there, but you did. That's fantastic.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's how I can tell this woman's.
It just means you're cool that I can make that kind of joke. So
yeah, right. That's how I can tell this woman's one of my best friends. Busts my balls that severely.
I do love you.
Okay. Anyway, so back over to the article here. In a statement announcing the news, and Saranoff, CEO of Warner Media Studios and Networks Group, cited unprecedented times. I keep using the word unprecedented, but I guess so. That calls for creative solutions. Yeah, well, time and place. I'm not going to talk about that now, though.
Nice,
anyway,
because Tree Rock Creations was getting right into that. You know, like what are we going to do for those of us who would like to claw all this back and fix it? It must be really disheartening. I know a lot of people really have a love and an affection for the theater experience. So it's really
well. Here's what I've kind of said about it. Is protest. Okay. Seriously, you want to maintain your rights, you got to protest. And that's the thing I find so funny about it, is that they make fun of the people protesting the coup, but no, the media doesn't bat an eye when it comes to BLM. Oh yeah, BLM protesting's fine. It's not a big deal. It cures the coup. But God forbid you're protesting the right to get a haircut. I mean,
yeah.
Seriously, it's like you want to fight back. Stop giving your money to Amazon. I know that is such a difficult thing. It's easier said than done. Shop local. is honestly, I think, the biggest way you can fight the system right now. Because if
the
you
only
look,
problem is though, like I can speak from experience here in Ohio. Like this second curfew thing, you know, it's actually soft lockdown that the governor's put us on is like strangling the life out of businesses, and they just got somewhat of a regular type of you know, sort of semblance of order back, and now they're going to bleed money again, and a lot of them are going to go under and close. So it's hard to like go and support local mom and pops when local mom and pop anything is closing left and right. You know, and the governor's just like, oh, you know, too bad, so sad, got to stop the spread.
well, and this is the thing that's so funny too, that Mr. Tickle Trunk brings up. Yeah, in some parts of the USA, you can get a half and half, but not a haircut.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that is just asinine. So the easiest way I say you can fight back is that shop local, protests. I mean, we had a curfew here implemented because of Thanksgiving, and there was a protest downtown. That is the way you fight back. And yeah, protest is American. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, the thing, Tree Rock Creations made you know, a nice like next level big picture point, and bravo to you, sir. That's a good one. Yeah, it's like people are being forced to buy online. Ding, ding, ding. Guess what? There's a reason for that, because why do you think they want to tank the currency so bad? Because they want you to go to completely electronic currency. They want you to take paper money and get rid of it. That is why people are being forced to online means of buying their everydays and buying their appliances and buying all the other things that they use in their home.
Yeah. And there's a video I'm going to be working on for my other channel. And I need to do this like soon. And it's going to be things you need to do to prepare for 2020. And I'll kind of cover some of that stuff. The other thing that you need to look at is, you know, buy silver and gold. I mean,
yeah, I was just going to say, you took the words out of my mouth, brother. I was just going to say, anybody listen that is living in the States, yeah, get you some gold and silver. Just to, you know, back yourself up. No matter how much you can afford, just pick up some. Just to back yourself up. Lock it away for a rainy day, because you know what? You never know.
Yep,
and
exactly.
I promise you that you know, this whole electronic economy is where they are forcing it. This is 100% a forced shift. Yeah.
And it's true. Yes. Tim Pool is correct. He's called it the biggest transfer of wealth in history. It is. I mean, and Zero Hedge did an article about this, and just like the amount of money like Jeff Bezos has made this year is just fucking insane. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Parrot head. What about lead?
Well, lead is another thing you should be buying too. And by lead, what he's referring to is bullets. So
yes.
There's two things I buy consistently with each paycheck. Granted, you know, fortunately, I'm in the position to where I can do this, but I buy bullets and I buy silver. Those are the two things I consistently buy each paycheck. And yeah. Granted, it's becoming more and more expensive to buy bullets right now because of what's going on. But it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm paying, you know, pound you in the ass pricing for 5.56 right now. It's insane. Anyway, that's for another topic though. No one wants films back on the big screen more than we do, said whatever her name is. We know new content is the lifeblood of theater exhibition, but we have to balance this with the reality that most theaters in the U.S. will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021. Yeah, which means that they're just simply going to go out of business. With this unique 1-year plan, we can support our partners in exhibition with a steady pipeline of world-class films, while also giving moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or aren't quite ready to go back to the movies the chance to see our amazing 2021 films. And amazing, I think, would use the term very loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. I gotta highlight this real quick. You should just buy silver bullets. Duh. Yeah, but silver bullets are really expensive to shoot, man. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. We see it as a win-win for film lovers and exhibitors. No, it's not. Stop lying. Stop
It's a load
lying.
of crap. Yeah, exactly.
It really is. And we're extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on the innovative response to these circumstances. You know, the thing I am not looking forward to is we're already seeing masks in commercials now. I am not looking forward to the normalization of masks in movies.
Yeah.
That is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Not to mention that you're not going to be able to see the person's face.
Yeah.
And it depends on what they're doing. But it goes back to the normalization, the reinforcing of masks. Masks are here to stay. And I think another thing you can do is when you're outside in your car driving around, don't wear the fucking mask. I see this all the time. People walking around by themselves wearing a mask. The only reason why I wear a mask in a store is because I'm required to. As soon as I walk out, I yank the goddamn thing off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, if history is any indication, you know, we have the Spanish flu, and people were ordered to wear a mask for that, and it didn't stick with them. You know, it didn't become a part of society.
I hope not.
Well, I hope not too.
It's different. I mean, it was different times back then, though.
I think we'll be a poorer society if we can't see one another's faces. I mean, it's just. The other day, I was out somewhere and there was an elderly person and they were struggling, and I wanted to reassure the person, and I realized in that moment that I could not emote that I cared. So I just said, "I'm so sorry you can't see behind my mask, but I'm smiling, and I know this is very stressful, and you know, and I'm here for you." But it's this total loss of communication. I hope we don't become you know, used to it, and that we don't adopt it as something we always do. I think that would be terrible for society.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. It's that kind of loss of, you know, humanity to an extent. Yeah. We see as a win-win. I already read all that. And we're extremely grateful for filmmaking partners. Yeah, I already talked about that. Okay. Sometimes I get lost. Warner Media CEO Jason Killer, because he's the one who killed a lot of the top brass at DC, said in a statement, after considering all available options and the projected state of movie going through 2021, we came to the conclusion that this was best way for Warner Media's motion picture business to navigate to the next 12 months. And this is one thing that was talked about during the announcement of these layoffs, is that they're looking for more direct to consumer avenues, which is basically in the form of, you know, what they're doing with movies. So this should not be a surprise to anyone if you've been keeping up with the media around what's going on with Warner. And on top of that, you're probably going to see a bigger push for digital comics rather than going to selling them to, you know, comic shops, and comic shops reselling them over to, you know, the individual. So they're going after that direct to consumer market, and they're going to cut out. And this is another reason why comic shops are going to die. Yeah. More importantly, we are planning to bring customers 17 remarkable movies throughout the year. Remarkable, my ass. Giving them the choice and power to decide how they want to enjoy these films. Our content is extremely valuable. Unless it is sitting on a shelf, not being seen by anyone. We believe this approach serves our fans, supports exhibitors and filmmakers, and enhances the HBO Max experience, creating value for all. Now, here's the problem. Much like the comic shop, they're doing the exact same thing to movie theaters. It is a lot more profitable for them. Not really. I'm not going to say it is profitable because they have to share the profit with the theater. It really kind of depends. I don't know. It could potentially be profitable. Maybe. I don't think it will be.
Well,
they need to recoup that money. So unless they're charging a premium.
I'm no expert on the finances here, but I don't know. I think a lot of this has to do with just how much profit they're making, and I think that this has a great deal to do with greed. I just think that maybe even if the profit margin were reduced to a significant level, a reasonable level, that some of these things will still be viable. But I don't know. Like earlier on today, I know a bunch of experts who were talking about all of this, and they were saying that, there are people who will simply not put up with this. They're going to demand the same salaries. They're going to demand the same amount of money. They're going to demand the same amount of profit. And it's just not viable. Yeah.
It's crazy. I got to highlight this. This is funny. Worry about masks? Didn't I see you posting on your Twitter about a clear trash can that companies are selling to cover half a body? Yes. It looks like a spacesuit for Earth. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It looks absolutely ridiculous. It's like the guy had a fishbowl on his head.
Yeah. It's
absolutely ridiculous.
It's dumb. Absolutely dumb. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what model they try and take with, direct to streaming. If they're charging a premium, then they could potentially recoup their money for the film. And yeah, they're not sharing it with anyone at that point. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We shall see. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, this is all about the struggle of maximizing profit, and we're seeing everyone squirming, and who's going to lose? The consumer. We'll see. Yeah,
we shall see. Killer expanded upon his thinking in a blog post Thursday. Emmerich said in his statement, "This hybrid exhibition model enables us to best support our films, creative partners, and moviegoers in general throughout 2021. We have a fantastic wide range." Did I already read this? I felt like I did. Or is this the article just repeating itself? Ranging slate of titles from talented and visionary filmmakers next year, and we're excited to be able to get these movies in front of the audience around the world. And as always, we support all of our releases with innovative and robust marketing campaigns for their theatrical debuts, while highlighting this unique opportunity to see our films domestically via HBO Max as well.
Well, that's a way to describe it. Hey, everyone, it's a unique opportunity.
A very unique opportunity.
It only comes around once every pandemic.
Oh,
saddle
absolutely.
up, rock and load, everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Come on, comics. You are tech, and you will be supporting those things in the near future. My battery needs charging. LOL. Yeah, just because I'm in the tech doesn't mean I'm gonna be wearing a fucking spacesuit on Earth, man. That's ridiculous. It's pretty funny because I feel like the more I deal with technology, the more I want to become a Luddite.
You just want to throw your what is it? Their sabots. Throw their sabots into the machinery to break all the machines.
Yeah. Look at this. Look what I bought. Okay, this is an actual watch. I own an Apple Watch. I stopped wearing the fucking thing.
Oh, you need to. Yeah, that is way too much information to give someone.
Yep.
I have a winding watch on right now. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, and it's exactly that. That's another thing I'm going to be talking about with the whole thing with ways you can fight back. Stop giving companies your information. And how can you do that? Get rid of your Apple Watch. Get rid of your iPhone.
Yeah.
So read the privacy policies. I know I'm just as guilty of it. I have a freaking iPhone right here. I'm seriously debating. I mean, it's so fucking convenient. It really is. It's having a computer in your pocket. I love the idea of mobile computing, but is giving companies my information worth it? That is the internal struggle I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're creating content, right? So the thing is that the thing is taking more than it's giving.
Yep, that's the thing.
Yeah, and we're conditioned to think that it's the other way around, but you take a look at aggregated data, and it's quite terrifying what our phones are doing. Our phones are betraying our trust. Unprecedented surveillance.
Yeah, it is true. And Manu is saying people are highlight this. People are letting their paranoia ruin their damn lives. I agree with that, dude. I really do. Because it works both ways. You can see it with the coof. But at the same time, it's when it's not paranoia when they're actually doing it.
Well, I can tell you as a communications and technology scholar that when we're talking about unprecedented surveillance and the information that is being gathered on you through your digital devices, that absolutely is not a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not.
And I would be happy to turn anyone in the chat onto a peer-reviewed scholarly texts that talk about what's happening in the digital world with the Silicon Six and the way that your information is being traded and gathered from your devices. So that's actually not a conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and you'll notice whenever I'm on these shows, whenever we start venturing into conspiracy theory or into politics, I grow quite quiet because I don't like to talk about that kind of thing. But I will stand behind Comics Division and say right now that when we're talking about surveillance, that is definitely not a conspiracy theory. It's a reality that people just aren't in fully informed about yet.
Montanudi, man, you kill me, dude. You're great. Yes, it is. Just because they're trying to get you doesn't mean you aren't paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
MarjieSmiles, Comics Division. If you have nothing to hide, I fucking hate that argument. But then again, too much tech is not a good thing. We are losing abilities.
Yeah, that's not an argument. Comics Division was talking about this earlier. He alluded to it and he didn't unpack it. But imagine if you have a whole bunch of habits and through aggregated data, it's revealed that you have something that may jeopardize your health. Let's say you smoke or you like pot, or let's say that you go to the liquor store 3 times a week and you have wine. Well, in the future, it's not unheard of that an insurance company won't get a hold of that information and then turn around and say, look, you're visiting the liquor store 3 times a week. I'm sorry, we can't give you health insurance. And people think that's a joke. That's not a joke. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is the future.
And there's God damn, I can't remember the name of that guy. He's a Japanese American. He's a futurist, and he did this thing on Discovery years ago, and it was really good. It talks about the whole thing with the future and just exactly what we're talking about with like the collection of data. Like they had smart toilets, and the guy went out binge drinking the night before and decided to piss in the sink because he didn't want his insurance company to know that he was out binge drinking because it would affect his premiums for his insurance. So he pees in the sink. He ends up getting in an accident and hurting his back. And they do a blood, because they draw blood. They find out he was drinking, and it's like I think he had like stored urine so he could dump into the toilet in the morning and flush it. Yeah. That was clean. It was really interesting. And then his policy ends up getting canceled because he tricked the system, and he ends up like breaking his back, and they do the surgery where they put a chip in, and he was basically paralyzed, but it basically fixes the issue with his spine, but he has to pay for it because his insurance won't cover it. I mean, it's scary. It is fucking scary.
Well, in London, they're talking about the health of the populace in London, England, because of course they've been looking at the water and trying to treat the water, and they now realize that there are like, apparently the cocaine use in London, England is so bad. It's in the water table and it's in very high doses. So, you know, they are monitoring what we're doing. And if you'd like to read a book that isn't about conspiracy theory, to sort of grapple with these ideas and sort of figure it out in a way that you can trust, and it's not tinfoil hat stuff, I suggest that the chat read a book called Data and Goliath. And it's written by, let me turn around here and look in, Bruce Schreier, or Schreiner? Yeah, Schreiner. Data and Goliath. And that can back up some of the stuff that Comics Division is saying, and you can come to grips with the reality of aggregated data and what's going on in the world today.
Yeah. I remember this one time. It was, I guess it was like 2012. And I guess the Xbox 4 getting ready to come out. Anyway, so I was buying the Xbox 3 for my wife, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do the the Xbox One, or I mean, not the Xbox? Sorry, you got to bounce." I just realized that you sent a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess let me finish the statement, and
Yes,
I'll let you get out of here.
I hate
so anyway,
to leave early.
No, it's fine. So anyway, yeah, I was buying a PS3 for my wife, and we're talking about the Xbox One because it hasn't been released yet. And initially, it was going to come with, I think, the Kinect, and it was basically going to be spying on you, or essentially it was on all the time, and all you have to say is like, "Hey Cortana," and it would respond. And I was like, "It's like I don't." It's like, yeah, I'm not too keen on what Xbox is, what they're planning on doing. He's like, "Why?" It's like, I don't want my fucking Xbox spying on me. He's like, "What do you got to hide?" It's like, nothing. But just because I have nothing to hide doesn't mean I want a fucking camera on me 24/7.
Yeah, and that's not an argument, because what you're doing is you're taking away somebody's right to privacy. I try to explain this to people, and I think sometimes they get quite scared. But then when they find out what I do for a living, and they find out about my education, that's when they really start to listen. But the one piece of advice that I like to give people is, take a piece of masking tape and put it over the camera on your computer and on your phone. Because if you go on the dark web, you will see that all of that footage can wind up being sold on fetish sites, and you know, just the monitoring, it's really bad. And it's not in your head, Comics Division. When you start talking about this stuff, you are speaking of a reality. It is 100% reality. Like I said, if you doubt what Comics is saying here, Comics Division is saying here, I definitely think that you should get yourself a copy of Data and Goliath.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me concerned is basically how we're beginning to live in the world, in an episode of Dark Mirror.
Yeah. Black Mirror. Yeah.
Black Mirror. Thank you.
Yeah. I totally agree. Oh, clobbering times. Captain, my captain. Hello, sweetheart. I'm so happy that you're here.
Well, I know you're not exactly feeling well, so we'll go ahead and get you out of here. So if there's anything that you would like to plug.
Well, I don't even want to leave, but I have a massive migraine, folks, and I think it's from staring at the computer for too long today. I just want to thank everyone in the chat for coming and listening to us talk tonight. You guys are absolutely awesome. And I want to thank Comics Division for being a wonderful host and for appearing on the Pegasus Actual podcast tonight. He was outstanding. You have to hear his thoughts on Battlestar Galactica. So head on over there, because really, really thoughtful and wonderful performance tonight. My name is Raquel Marianne Briggs. You can find my published nonfiction at academia.edu. You can find my science fiction at rmbriggs@amazon.com, or on your Kindle device, or on your Kindle, or just using your Kindle app under RM Briggs. And and that's it. Thank you so much. If I didn't have a pounding headache, I wouldn't leave, because this has just been an outstanding chat. My host and everyone who is in the chat.
Well, if you're interested, you can come back on Monday, yelling at parked cars, and we can talk about data privacy.
Oh, I would absolutely love that, and I can prepare some volumes for you. And if you want to talk about where you can turn the chat to get more information, I would love to be able to facilitate that for you, because that's a wonderful thing to teach people about privacy and to teach people about how their information is being used. I think it's a great cause. Awesome.
All right, Raquel, take care, and I hope you feel better.
Oh, you're a gracious host, and just rock this show. You're just wonderful, and
well,
you know what, guys? I long before I was ever asked to be on this show, I follow this wonderful channel. You should follow this wonderful channel. Please make sure that you sub. Please smash the crap out of that like button, and don't forget to hit your notification bell and hit all. Because he's always on, and he always has something interesting and really cool to talk about. So thank you, chat, and thank you, Comics Division. And
thank you.
Good night, Supreme Heretic. Good night, Drew.
Is Drew awake? I think Drew fell asleep. Yeah, Margie, I know you were kidding. I didn't take what you said seriously. And you didn't upset me, but it's... The reason why I would say I got upset is not at you for saying that, but it's something that I've heard people say that I know that they take seriously, like it's not a concern. And that's the reason why I brought that up. So don't worry about it. You're fine. And holy crap, Margie, twice in 1 week. Seriously? $99. I want the chase. You will follow parked cars, hail, all. I want the chase, yell, and follow parked cars. Yes. Well, thank you, Margie. That was very kind of you. Drew, you still with me? Sounds like he's snoring. All right, we're gonna get back to this article. This might be a short one tonight, folks. So please bear with me. Again, Margie, thank you very much. You didn't need to do that twice this week. HBO Max is only available in the United States, and Warner's 2021 slate will roll out internationally in theaters as planned. The move comes after Warner's released Christopher Nolan's Tenet in theaters this summer amid challenges faced by the pandemic. Universal has already shortened theatrical windows via the unique VOD plan, which has put in place because of the pandemic. Let me adjust here. When asked how long it took to get this decision and to gain support from across the company, Emmerich noted it took a minute as a company. Wow, it's kind of telling, I suppose. Let's see here. So, Garth Pastry Stabber, comics you need an air horn. It actually sounds like Drew is probably still around. I hear stuff going on in the background. He just may not be at his computer. So, I don't know. And let's see. There's another one from Clobbering Times I want to get. Here we go. Raquel is a wonderful lady. It's great to see her on your great show. Well, thank you very much, Clobbering Times. Yeah, she is very interesting to talk to. And I like the fact that she knows a lot about data, because that is definitely my weakness when it comes to tech. But like I said, I do know people who are data scientists that study ML. ML is basically their profession, but alas, I know very little about it. And yeah, it's scary stuff, man. It really is scary stuff. It really is. And I know I'm stressing really is a lot, but it's Minority Report, just with computers instead of psychics. When asked how long it took to get to this decision and to gain support for, I already read that. Okay, so here we go. We have these movies just sitting on the shelf, and said Emmerich. Consumers are starved for content. Yes, they are because of the unnecessary lockdowns. Okay. Drew, you still back with me yet? Okay, so I'm just going to go and move on to the next topic, folks. Give me a sec while I pull this up. Where the hell is it? Here we go. Man, Mary Sue is the gift that keeps on giving because they are just chopped filled with stupid. DC Starfire has a plus-size goth queer teen daughter, and I'm so in love with this concept. Yeah, like I said, folks, I did a video about this, and this is why DC in particular. This is why comics are dying. All right, this is dumb. Manny's about to be my favorite teen character of 2021. Of course, we've all seen this now. We have the very attractive Starfire, and then her very short, overweight, and self-insert of Mariko Tamaki in the form of Mandy. So this is Mariko Tamaki right here. And if you've seen a recent picture of her, that's basically what she looks like. And yeah, it's self-insert. And I don't have much of an issue with self-inserts when it's your own story. But when it's something like a DC comic, it's kind of dumb. Heather heard what? Hail, Comics Division and chat. I've been listening in, but unable to comment tonight as I am decorating for Christmas. Well, hey, that's awesome that you're hanging out and hanging out with us and listening. So that's cool, Heather. I'm glad you're hanging out. Oh, you darn kids who like to rebel against your sunshine parents and crush on cute girls. Such is the case with the upcoming graphic novel, I Am Not Starfire, by, of course, they got to stress this, New York Times best-selling author, Mariko Tamaki. She did the following books, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, and Harley Quinn, Breaking Glass. And she also wrote Hulk back in 2017, which was a terrible take on She-Hulk. And it's pretty apparent that she kind of has issues with heterosexual relationships. Tamaki herself is a lesbian, I believe. Don't necessarily care. It's not a big deal to me. But I will pull up the date night issue of, I want to say this happened like around February. I think it was Valentine's Day. And it really kind of sums up, I guess, her attitudes against straight people dating. So give me a second here. Let's see if I can find it. Let me look up Tamaki. He was here to talk, but he's not. Here we go. I found it. This is a terrible cover. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in right here. So yes, this is Hulk, issue 11. Love is in the air for She-Hulk, and she's like, no. And yeah, this is one of her books right here. I did a review on it back in the day, and I just remember it being bad. It was, quite frankly, rather forgettable. Anyway, let me grab some chats real quick, folks. Is she trans? No, the character is not trans, and neither is Mariko Tamaki. There is the one from Disease. Here we go. The author looks like Edna Mode from Incredibles. Yeah, I mean, I guess now she kind of looks that way. Yeah. Yes, Mariko Tamaki is projecting. Her mother was beautiful in her youth, and so was her grandmother. Saw her Instagram. Yeah, I remember somebody mentioning that. I don't follow her. Mariko Tamaki, when she was younger, was very attractive. But yeah, now she's kind of gross looking. But I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Not sorry. And like I said, I make fun of myself for being, a doughy 46-year-old guy. I could definitely could lose some weight. But so I'm going to call other people out for it too. It's not like I'm not self-aware. Let's see here. Okay. Need Mariko's mom pics. Let's see if somebody sent them to me on Twitter. No, Parrot Head did not send me those. He sent me something else instead. Not sharing those. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Let's see if we could do some Google food here and find those pictures. Let's see. Nope, not seeing anything. But what I can do is I could probably show you. Nah, screw it. We'll just get back to the article. All right. Then she has her artist, Yoshi Tatani, Beneath the Moon, Zatanna, and the House of Secrets, whose art profile is way too gorgeous to try and sum up in one post. I've only seen the artwork for her artwork for this issue. I mean, I guess it's kind of Cal Art style. I don't know if it's necessarily Cal Arts, but it's not terrible. It's not great either. I'd say it's the depiction of the character that's kind of dumb. I've seen people do better fan art in regards to this. And here we actually have the article that is basically just a reposting of what she put on from Bleeding Cool. I'm not going to read it because fuck Bleeding Cool. And I actually kind of covered it. No, I didn't. I completely cut it out of my other my video where I was talking about this. This is my jam. I'm immediately in love with this chubby goth look. I'm on record saying that I grew up wanting to embrace that goth aesthetic, but had zero options as a plus size teen in the 90s. And I call bullshit, lady, because there's plenty of plus size goths in the 90s. I knew quite a few. And to say that you couldn't find clothes is I'm calling bullshit. It is complete garbage. So yeah, this girl speaks to my missed opportunities from back in the day. No, they are not missed opportunities. You just didn't try hard enough. That was the thing. Back in the 90s, you couldn't go to Hot Topic and buy your goth clothes. You fucking made it yourself. You went to thrift stores, you found the stuff, you made it yourself. Quite frankly, all you had to really do is just wear black. So it was a lot easier back then, I suppose. Or maybe a lot harder. And then you had to go find some Manic Panic. That's all you had to do. It's not that hard. Like I said, you just didn't try hard enough. And since I'm transparent, since I am a transparent ass disaster bi, I'm all for this LGBT plus and Amona P, alphabet community, angel. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Like more YA with this, please. My God. It's like you're a grown ass woman. Why are you reading YA? Because it is terrible. I mean, have you folks read any of the stuff that came out from DC from their YA line? Like Gotham High? Yeah, that was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And then you had You Brought Me the Ocean, which was completely boring. It was so boring, in fact, that I couldn't make fun of it. Yeah, it's oh shit, Che sent it to me. All right, dude. Here we go. There we go. That's her mom. That's her family. Or is that Happy Mother's Day, my mom and my dad? Okay. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, her mom, my dad, my dad's mom. Okay. So that's basically her mom and her dad. Yeah, her mom's her mom's cute. So yeah. So I guess it's apparent that she's got some mommy issues. That's unfortunate. Anyway. Where were we? Also, something about a kid trying their damnedest to not only be different themselves from their parents, but from the stardom their parents bring speaks to me. And I'm one of those people who wonder about the hero family from the perspective of the person who's exhausted of it. God. And this is why we can't have nice comics these days. Not because of the battles, but because of the things like Teen Titans superfans, especially since Mandy is the child of Starfire and not a Teen Titan herself. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Let's go back to the chat real quick, folks. Sorry, didn't mean to click on that just yet. Let me scroll up here, see what we got. Okay. Yeah, just sent you her Mom's Day post from Instagram. Yes, thank you, sir. That is awesome. And yeah. Yep. Thanks, dude. I know I'm a little behind right now, but yeah, I'll eventually catch up here. Okay, everyone should see why she has issues. Yeah, I yeah, for sure, man. Oh, there's a second picture. Oh, dude. Okay. Did you send me that one as well? I guess it's part of the same thing. Okay. And while I'm at it, dude, I'm gonna follow you back. All right. So let me re-pull this up again. Let's see, 9 years with this person. Nope, that's not it. Let's see more pictures. See if I can find it. All right. If you find it, dude, just shoot to me on Twitter again. I'm not finding it. Anyway, I'll just get back to the article. Yeah, just shoot me a message or shoot me. Okay. There are 4 on Instagram. All right. Let's double check again. Because I see the one post or the one photo. Oh, okay. Duh. All right. I'm an idiot. Okay, so I see. I'm not an Instagram user, folks, so please forgive me for my being retarded here. If I click on the thing, it advances the photo. Holy shit. Yeah, you're right, dude. Yeah, that's the reason why she's got mommy issues. And that's her grandmother. Yeah. There you go. So it looks like Disease is dipping out for the night. Laters, dude. Take care. Have a good evening. I'll catch you later. Okay, so yeah, I'm just dumb with Instagram. Sorry about that. But yeah, I can see why she wrote the book now, because it's very apparent that she's got mommy issues. That's unfortunate. Manny has to deal with her mother's popularity, which has nothing to do with her. Did I already read this? No, okay, good. Which has nothing to do with her, but would absolutely interfere with her day. That makes it sound like it's more than just an ugh when my mom smiles, dandelions bloom kind of tension. Maybe Mandy's goth look seems to serve multiple purposes, combating the bright orange hair she was born with in order to distance herself from her mother, distancing herself from her from the fandom of her mother generates, and well, maybe she's just likes it. Well, I mean, and again, there's also some pretty hot goth chicks out there too, not just the plus size ones. I'm curious to see how Starfire deals with this. There's no word on who Manny's father is, or if he will even come up, and I doubt he will because it's DC. And being a bad dad is a trope in entertainment, so why be any different? If it's Robin, for example, what would create an interesting dynamic since Robin is moodier than Starfire? I feel like Manny would vibe more with him and curse the fact that her eyes glow green. I'm expecting that no matter who the father is, Starfire is going to make some calls to Raven for advice. I bet Mandy loves Auntie Raven. Maybe they meditate together or go shopping. Yeah, they definitely go shopping. I'm interested in seeing a superhero, especially one who is normally positive, being perplexed with parenthood. That's not to say that I don't want any action, and you're not going to get any action because this is a young adult novel. And if you've read any of her stuff, reading her She-Hulk, there was absolutely no fucking action in the book. It was actually quite boring. So yeah, there's not going to be action, folks. And I'm fairly certain that someone's from Starfire's past is going to be the boss battle. I'm just intrigued with the extraordinary people struggling to come to terms with issues us regular folks deal with every day. And it's going to be out August of next year, maybe. So, yeah. No idea, folks. I have no idea if this is going to be. Maybe it will go and pull a New Warriors, and it will be release day, and nothing actually comes up. And let's see here. Let's go back to the chat, folks. So let me go through and see if I can find some stuff here. Yeah, disease already dipped out. Toxic Manflu, you crack me up, dude. Where is that comment of yours? I can highlight it. I fucking hate this thing. Anyway, I'll just read it from what you put here. Oh, it was Monuity. Duh. Sorry, Mana. Still can't find it. Anyway, he says, hey, being stupid is my job. It's my job too. Comes naturally, I suppose. Tree Rock Creations. Write what you know. Yuck. I don't want to know about her real mother issues. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is there's nothing wrong with writing what you know. And again, it goes back to, what are you writing? If it's your own stuff, yeah, sure, you could definitely make something interesting out of it. But if it's a DC comic book, yeah, I'm not going to put any of my personal stuff in there. I'm not going to vent any of my parental issues in it, or the crap that's going on in my life, or, you know, my TDS, which I don't have because I'm not a Trump hater. But yeah, it's like, fucking terrible. Can you link her channel? Whose channel? Can you? Are you talking about Tamaki, or are you talking about Raquel? I have her Twitter. I don't necessarily have her YouTube. I don't know if she has a YouTube channel. I'll have to ask her about that. All right. Here we go. Might as well give Starfire kids an orange suit. Jailwear. Yeah. That's funny. Okay. So there was one thing I did want to hit tonight. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So let's talk about what's going on at BioWare. So recently, there was an announcement, and I need to share this because I stopped sharing. So on N7 Day this year, they went and announced that they're doing another Mass Effect game, which I wish I could say I was excited for, but Andromeda kind of killed any momentum, in my opinion, for that. Oh, okay. Raquel. Okay. What I can do is I can send you guys her Twitter, and let me see if she has anything on a page listed there. Here is her details for Twitter. If I can get back to the tab. So you can follow her. And she also has a link to her Amazon stuff. But I don't think Raquel actually has a YouTube channel. So there you go. So another super chat from Mr. Tickletrunk. For 2 Canadian pesos, off topic, rewatching B5 when Az and Gary watch. Am I rewatching it? No, I'm not currently rewatching it yet. It is a great series, though. I do have it on my Plex server. I definitely need to go rewatch it along with Farscape. Because sadly, we are in a, with the exception of, I would say, The Expanse, there's not a whole lot of good sci-fi out there these days, which is pretty damn unfortunate. But anyway, so let's talk about BioWare and the fact that Casey Hudson is leaving BioWare again. This is not the first time the guy left. It's also the reason why Mass Effect 3 was kind of crappy, was because I believe that Casey left in the middle or shortly after. I don't, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, folks. I don't remember. But this came out today, December 3rd. A message from Laura Miel, Chief Studio Officer, Electronic Arts. We strive for all our studios to be placed where talented, creative people come to do career defining work. A dimension of this and ambition is that something those people want to try something different. Casey Hudson, GM, BioWare, and Mark Draw, executive producer, Dragon Age, are 2 of those people, and they have decided to move on from BioWare. God, I swear Casey Hudson left once before. I want to personally thank Casey and Mark for everything they have done for BioWare, for the BioWare community, and in particularly for our players. They will always be an essential part of the studio history, and we appreciate their many contributions, and we look forward to seeing what they that each will do next. For more from Casey here and Mark here. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of curious what this means for the future of Mass Effect. I don't think he was attached to Mass Effect Andromeda. Let me go double check that real quick. Let's see here. Andromeda. Yeah, producers, not Casey Hudson. Casey Hudson was not a writer. Okay, so yeah, he had no involvement. Let me go to Mass Effect series and see what they got here. Actually, I'll just look for Mass Effect 3. So director was Casey Hudson. Writers was Mark Walters. So Casey was attached to that. And he was not. Okay, so Mark Walters was the director for Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that. It's pretty unfortunate. But anyway, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Okay, so let me get this from Mr. Tickle Trunk. Yes, when they do their show, rewatching Babylon 5, and yes, Farscape was great. No, I unfortunately depends on what the show is. I haven't been doing a lot of watching other people's stuff lately, just because I've been busy at work. And when I have lots of lulls, is when I tend to get my YouTube in. It sucks. It's funny because Culture Casino was giving me crap the other day for not watching his content. And it's like, dude, it's not because I don't like your stuff, dude. It's a time thing. It's either I make YouTube or I watch YouTube, and I try and watch as much YouTube during the day as possible. All right, so I also saw some Mass Effect comments in here too. Mr. Tickle Trunk. BioWare has been a dead zombie husk for many, many years. I completely agree. Bio what? Dude, that's hilarious. Let me see if I can actually highlight some of these comments here. Yeah, for me, the biggest disappointment with Mass Effect was 3, because we were sold this idea that Mass Effect, every decision you made throughout the franchise was going to have effect on the outcome. And what we ended up getting was a color-coded outcome, which was bullshit. Comics wasn't there talk about a Emmy movie. There was back in the day, and I kind of had like my fan castings and everything, but I know it was optioned, I believe. Comics Division, Paragon or Renegade. I'll be honest with you, I've always played Paragon. This is how I am. Sorry about that. Let's see. Most AAA video games have a hard time just working nowadays. Yeah, dude, you're absolutely correct. Even with all the resources and time available to these large games, a stable release isn't possible. Dude, you are so right on that. Yeah. It's pretty bad. Oh, you're back. Where have you been?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was I was busy doing some stuff here.
Oh, it's cool, dude. I at first I thought you maybe had fallen asleep. No. But I heard stuff going on in the background, so I was like, okay, he's still here. So we're talking about BioWare and the whole thing with Mass Effect. Tali Zora was my best Mass Effect waifu. I know, controversial. I always liked Tali as a character. I just think it would be hard to hook up with her, considering the whole thing with the suit. I always thought, despite the fact that she was wearing her encounter suit, I always found her to be pretty sexy. However, I'm really big on the Asari, and I can't remember her name, but the Asari scientist chick was always my pick. Do you think this was an Iger stepping down before the coof hits? Dude, I don't know, man. Like I said, I find it rather conveniently timed that Casey Hudson is stepping down again. For just after they announced a new Mass Effect game. Oh God, this is Soul Assassin, man. You're killing me here. It's a good one.
No,
Jack or Miranda?
They were never going to get back to the quality that they used to have anyway. No. BioWare was stuck in. They were a company that was stuck in death throes, and part of it was because they did it to themselves, and the other part was the fact that it was the beat 'em or join 'em mentality, and even if they didn't go along with the whole woke agenda type of thing, it would make its way into the games anyway.
Yeah.
So where were they going to be? And most of their good writers left anyway before this. BioWare had been bleeding out money for a while. They weren't. The problem is it just hadn't put out a good game in so long.
Yeah. To answer your question, okay, I've romanced both those characters. Personally, I think Miranda is way hotter, but as a character, I actually like Jack. I thought she was pretty cool.
Jack had personality. Right?
She did. She had a lot of personality. Miranda had a really hot ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like real life dating. What are your priorities?
Yeah, but I liked how Jack looked pretty awesome in Mass Effect 3 because she actually had hair. But I thought her backstory was really interesting. Yeah, the idea because she was a victim and was this terrible person, and you're kind of able to coax her back over to the light, so to speak. And the fact that you were able to keep her as a romance option for Mass Effect 3, I thought was kind of sucky.
So what about SWTOR? I don't think anything's going to happen to SWTOR. SWTOR is what it is. It's still got people playing it. It has enough of a player base, I think, because of when it moved over to Steam, that it's still a functional game. They just put out somewhat of an expansion if you count the thing with bringing back Vitiate for the 594th time. We'll see how that goes, but I don't think SWTOR is in any trouble as far as being shut down imminently. Nothing.
Well, the other thing too, going back to the previous comment when you jump back on with the issue with games being released, part of the reason why developers are lazy about the whole thing with programming is because they know they can do a day one patch. That's why.
Oh yeah.
Borderlands 3 is a buggy as fuck game, and even last time after I played it, it's still buggy as fuck. And I think that was the case with Borderlands 2, even though I played many years later after the game came out. But yeah, I think a lot of it is because developers know that once a game goes gold, they know that if nothing is perfect, if it's not perfect, they have the day one patch to fix it. And back in the 90s, even the early 2000s, I guess probably up till the aughts, not the aughts, but the 2010s, you started getting the patches. So it wasn't just about what was put on the CD anymore. It was about what could be downloaded. And so that's the thing right there is the game had to be perfect, because if it was buggy, there was really no way of fixing it. And with the internet coming in the early aughts, people having wide access, they were able to start kind of fixing certain issues. But for the most part, what was on the CD was what you got. And then the way you got an expansion was you went and you bought another CD. You put it in and installed the software. And maybe that had patches that fixed the original game. So that's the reason why I think the state of gaming is the way it is because of the fucking day one patch. And
I can understand that to a degree, because there was a thing I know that the Quartering put out a video about about Cyberpunk Street Date being broken and whatnot, and and somebody that got it early said something about like, oh, the day one patch is 57 gigs or something like that.
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like the amount that needs to be fixed or updated, whatever. And yeah, I think there's something to what you're saying. It was a crutch they didn't have in their toolbox before.
Yeah. So True Recreation is saying, is it possible that video game programmers and developers have communications problems even with all the communication devices and options available?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch any videos that talk about video game making, there's a channel I really like that talks about disasters in video games. There's a lot of things that go wrong, and sometimes it's the person that is driving the game. I think it's a producer or the director.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow, Upper Echelon Gamers. That's a really good YouTube channel. And he does some great content about the industry and about gaming. But yeah, I think part of the problem is too. Well, you guys know this back from when we play games. When you're buying a real video game. Mm-hmm. in the 90s, early 2000s even.
Yeah.
You could expect a product that was like commensurate to the money you were spending. Now, let's say you pay $60. The game doesn't feel like it lives up to that $60 because you've got gated content sometimes. You've got content that should be, or that feels like it should be a part of the in-game campaign that it either comes as a quote DLC or it is locked behind some other paywall. There's a lot of other problems, in industry-wise that have really screwed up the development.
Yeah. So the site I was talking about, or the channel, it's not extra credits. I remember that's the guy who said, the whole Nazi thing about video games. We should stop putting Nazis in video games. No, it was Matt McMuscles. He has some really great content around video games. He has a series called What Happened, and it's really good. So Slithering Peanut says, allegedly Casey Hudson was the reason we got the Mass Effect 3 ending. I think you're right on that. I remember reading about that. But he, like I said, he said that we're going to get this really, flexible ending, and he basically lied, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and
but he like I said, he wasn't as involved as he was with the previous Mass Effect games. He was still the director, which means he was still responsible for it. But I don't think trying to remember if he actually did the writing for Mass Effect 1 or not. I don't think he did.
Wasn't it a lot of there were a lot of SWTOR people that worked on Mass Effect 1.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of shit that happened to it.
Was it God, I want to say what wasn't Daniel Erickson and some of those other people that wrote for SWTOR, didn't they write on Mass Effect 1? I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay, so director was Casey Hudson, and the original writer was Drew
Karpyshyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big he's written a lot of Star Wars books.
Yeah. And that's probably the reason why it was really good. So let me see who actually wrote Mass Effect 2. And Mass Effect 2 being probably the best one. So Mac Walters and Drew Karpyshyn were the writers. Casey Hudson was a director and producer for Mass Effect 2. So,
yeah. Hey, look, chat. I like Drew Karpyshyn's writing.
I mean, Mass Effect 2 was genius.
The Revan novel I enjoyed because he did the Revan book. So
yeah, but a lot of it too. Sometimes a game can collapse because of the ego of the director. So that's
there is that.
Like I said, if you watch any of what did I say his name, Mark McMuscle's videos. No, Matt McMuscle's videos. He covers like the breakdown of where things fell apart. And sometimes it's studio interference. Sometimes it's because of EA. Sometimes it's because, they just kind of lost their way. And typically what ends up happening with any game is they develop the mechanics first. And that was like the problem with Andromeda, is that they were trying to do procedural generated worlds. They scaled it back to being hand created. They were trying to do a lot of things, and it didn't live up to the hype that they were trying to do. The story was developed, I want to say, in like the last 8 months of the game's development, or the last year, which is not enough time to develop a story, specifically for what they're doing. And the reason why is because you have to write the script, you have to get the things to the animators, all this stuff. So there is a reason why Andromeda was a steaming pile of shit. There's a lot of things that went wrong with it. Let's see. I know there are communications problems in the tech industry. I can only imagine communication problems in a video game, in the video game development. And the other thing too is Matt also talks about the whole thing with crunch time. And crunch time is really where a lot of your developers just get murdered, because they're literally like working like 80-hour weeks at that point. And that usually goes on for quite a long time. What's up, Demajidai? How's it going, dude?
The development cycle fluctuates. So, when a game is, at a critical stage, or sometimes nearing completion, during different times of those cycles, people get overworked.
Mm-hmm.
In many cases, they're not paid what they're worth, and we can sit on the outside because there's a lot of us that'll armchair quarterback it and say, I don't think that they're as overworked as they say. Yeah, to a degree. Sure, some of them might have like the lazy man's bias, but I think a lot of people have a legitimate gripe about that, the crunch factor when it comes to the industry. And
the reason why you get the crunch is because the game is like quickly running out of money.
and a lot of us try to glamorize it, say, I could do great, I'd love to be a game developer. And then, guess what? Newsflash, folks, if we actually got into this industry, it isn't as great as we think it is. Same as,
I would not want to be a developer.
Yeah,
working in the games industry, it's terrible. EA itself is terrible. So how's your father saying
now? Yeah.
How's your father saying? I heard about the controversial Emmy ending, but I don't understand it. Why it was controversial, or why it was color coded? What I can tell you is that from Mass Effect 1, when they're doing interviews with Casey Hudson, he said that every decision you make throughout the game is going to affect the ending of the game. The ending of the trilogy, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is they broke down to 3 endings, and they were color coded. You had destruction, control, and synthesis. And only by doing certain things could you unlock synthesis, which is the best ending. from day one, the goal was to always destroy the Reapers. And why they didn't make it that, I don't understand. But destruction was supposed to be it ended up wiping out all synthetic life throughout the galaxy. Control means you end up controlling the Reapers, and synthesis means that you have this hybrid between man and machine, and machine and man. And that's like the best ending. And the whole thing was that there was this thing called the cycle, and the cycle was that at some point in time, organics would develop synthetics would rise up and kill their creators, and that was like the whole point with Tally's people and the Geth. So what happened is the Reapers developed the cycle where they'd come back every X number of millions of years and basically wipe out all sentient life that has evolved to a certain point.
Yeah.
When the
actually almost like BST, it's like the Reapers were almost like Cylons.
Yeah. So it was a really interesting concept, but ultimately, like I said, every action you took in the game throughout the series was supposed to affect the ending, and that's not the case.
No, it wasn't anywhere close.
Yeah, it really wasn't. That's why fans were pissed, man. That's why fans were really fucking pissed.
Because you want to think that, like, okay, I have I'm playing a trilogy, so
Damaj and I said 50,000 years. That's right, it was 50,000 years, not millions of years.
But you're thinking, okay, I'm playing a trilogy, so I'm gonna go back and make an entirely new tune and play through the first game differently, and it's gonna affect what I'm gonna get in 3. Same as I could carry that character over to 2.
Mm-hmm.
What I do in 2 is gonna affect it everything on a whole as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they never did put that system together. I was so disappointing because, you could have done so much with that.
One of the biggest problems of the games industry is that they start off very, very ambitious. They overpromise and underdeliver. The other thing too, which I think is funny, that Mr. Tickletrunk points out is, the concept Star Trek Picard stole, along with the sound of the Reapers at the final episode. Yeah, that's fucking Kurtzman is a fucking hack. Anyway, biggest issue with Andromeda was it was basically a carbon copy of ME1 story-wise. Also, the new species were boring as hell, and the story was super predictable. Yeah, it really was. The whole twist wasn't one. Yeah, it was.
So Putin, you're saying is pretty much the equivalent of The Force Awakens.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, Damaj and I'll send you a link.
Oh man, what's going on, Damaj and I? It's great to see you, brother.
Alrighty. Next. There you go. He said he came on when Mass Effect Andromeda came out. So, yeah. The funny thing too is I found all the NPCs boring. The only NPCs I liked were the aliens. The humans were terrible. They're really and the fucking twins. So terrible. True Creation. Okay, that was True Creations. Okay, sorry, dude. Here's Demajani. What's up, dude?
What's going on? What's going on?
What up, brother?
How you doing, man? You talking my wheelhouse, man. Mass Effect. I played that shit every which way and sideways to smash all chicks.
Same here.
That was always the thing, man. How much virtual ass can I pull at the same time? I mean, it was just how it was, because you wanted to see every possible way that you could go, and also, hey, can I have a space harem?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you like this here. Mass Effect 2 was like the Empire Strikes Back of that entire series.
God, that was a great game.
It was so good, and what hooked me was the fact that Yvonne Strahovski was playing Miranda. I was sold, because that was right around the time Chuck was on. And
yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to smash this chick Once I found out you could smash, I'm like, I'm getting that.
Well, one thing I thought was funny about it too, what was great about the game is that within the first 5 minutes of playing the game, your protagonist dies. This is like, what the fuck?
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
Well, you know, and the crazy thing, like I will say this about Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 was good until the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I liked everything up until the ending because it was like literally, like you were saying just now, you expected a different outcome, right? And now I will take that ending and couple that with the Andromeda Initiative, which was, I understand they wanted to, you know, move away from Shepard, but I actually done videos about this several times, but I'm like, why the F did you not start Mass Effect 4, which is what that should have been, and you could have had it as Shepard's kid, because you could have made your romances matter.
Mm-hmm.
You could have had.
Oh yeah, dude, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, they
on who your shepherd is. It could be an Asari female.
Exactly.
If
yes.
you romanced, God damn it, I'm blanking on her name.
Ashley. It was Ashley.
Liara.
We don't know what happened. Liara. We don't know what happened if a human in an aquarium would mate. I don't think that would work. But Ashley and Liara was definitely ones you could mate with because. Oh, and Jack. So I was gonna say this one could have been sweet. Your Jack could have been your renegade. Your kid with Jack would have been a renegade. Your kid with Ashley would have been your paragon or whatever, and then your Liara will be your balanced one, like your sorry kid. And you could have started the new game what's your decision on however you ended 3 will be how you start 4. You know what I'm saying? So if you destroyed them, you'll have no ED, nothing, because it would destroy all inorganic life. So you would start out from scratch, and you could basically say, well, now all of the relays are destroyed, so now you have all these factions, wherever planet you stopped at, you got to basically fight your way off to build up the new relays. And that's how you start the new game. Like the new series would be all about starting the relays.
God damn it, dude, you've already made a more interesting game.
Yeah.
I love this game. This is what makes me so mad that they messed it up.
I know, dude. I was. Here's the thing, okay? It's like the Mass Effect 3 was still a fun game to play.
Oh, it was. I still play it.
It's the thing that sucked about it, and honestly, probably it has some of the best downloadable content too.
Oh yes, it did.
The mission that takes place on the Citadel was a good story.
Oh, was it so good? I think that was the only game I bought every single DLC that they put out. I made them rich. I was like a crackhead. I was like, I need some crack. I was getting some Mass Effect DLC all the time. But yeah, like I really wish they would have did something like that. Now I will be getting that remaster that's coming out next year. It's gonna be a PS4. I will be getting that. So I want to see what they're gonna do with Mass Effect 1. While I really enjoyed Mass Effect 1, it was a little clunky with the gameplay just because it was old. But the storyline was still phenomenal.
Tom jumped in for a moment. Tom, where'd you go? Sorry, dude. I was writing. Yeah, I swore I saw Tom pop in for a second. I was responding to Margie to say goodnight, but he dropped off. So Tom, if you're here, if you're listening, jump back in, dude. We'll get you back in.
Yeah, I will begin that remaster though. The remaster seems very interesting.
Let's see here. Yeah, early access, paid betas, pre-orders, and Kickstarters are the reason we have broken games. I'm not going to entirely disagree. I think there's a lot of factors that play into it. Those do contribute. It's a lot of things, but definitely the whole thing with the paid betas and pre-orders. I think Kickstarters is kind of like its own issue altogether. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree with there.
Speaking of Kickstarters, they have the what was the name of this? I was just looking at it. Oh God, I won't blank on the name, but it's apparently a parody spoof of Mass Effect but is an adult game. I'm like, I'm getting this shit. I'm gonna get it. I want to see it because it's supposed to be basically Mass Effect where you can actually get the chicks for real. And I'm like, and it's got the same shooter type of concept. So I'm like, it's in development. So I'm like, I might have to get that just, for science.
For science. Okay, Slytherin Peanut also says we're willing to pay for promises, not product. We need to stop. I agree, dude. I completely agree with that. We need to stop the whole thing with the pre-order stuff because, yeah, that's it's certainly an issue for sure.
Well, and like you were saying with the I think one of the biggest downfalls to the gaming industry was the advent of DLC. Because now with DLC, they can put out an incomplete game. Oh, we'll just put out the DLC.
That's what I said. Is that it's the day one patches.
Yeah,
that to me is what.
And speaking of like those patches, remember how bad? All right, Mass Effect Andromeda was like that was when I actually did my very first YouTube video. Was because I was like, this game is bad. Like that was like my last Jedi, dip into the pool was Mass Effect Andromeda. Because like when you looked at like all of the women were ugly. Like the rider model was gorgeous. But when you seen how she looked in the game, they made her look like a freaking dumpling. I'm like, what are you doing? They made all of the models look bad. The story the game was so clunky. They put out maybe like 15 different patches before they made it. You could actually build a pretty girl. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
What?
I didn't realize that Steph was lurking in the chat because she sent me the photos of Tamaki's mother. She's like, bro, get an Instagram. I'm old. I'm not getting an Instagram.
I have an Instagram. I have everything but I don't have a what's that? Snapchat. That's useless to me. I don't have Parler. I'm thinking about getting that.
I need to get a Parler for sure.
But yeah, I think like you were saying, I honestly believe the DLC, the advent of the DLC was what really hurt the gaming industry. Because it's never going to get fixed because they know they can keep making money off of it. Because, the gaming industry, well, the game buyers, basically, they will pay for it. They will.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, because it's basically like they got us by the balls. So where else you going to go? Where can you go to get that fix? You really can't go anywhere. I mean, yeah, you got your indie creators and everything, but even those require, you got to put money up front for something that you don't know what you're going to get,
Right.
So,
yeah. And Death Angel Shadow, BioWare was good before they sold out. Yeah, I would say they were good before EA ruined them. EA fucking ruins everything.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
EA has a lot of shitty policies. They are bottom line about one thing. You want to talk about a series of games that have gone ass backwards. And I know. Listen, guys, I know most of you probably don't play sports games.
No, I don't.
But
no, I don't play them either.
but for all these years, I've been playing like football games, particularly since Tecmo Bowl, and I played the Madden series. After 2008, that game went downhill. Like they actually dropped features instead of adding features. They didn't innovate. They looked for ways to actually like monetize the game and listen, even those that even you guys, any of you that play the basketball games, play 2K. 2K is not any better.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people.
They're all about the fucking microtransactions.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, if they made a football game like 2K5, it'd be great. Yeah, it would be pretty good, but it's not gonna. It wouldn't be much better because of the microtransaction stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing that they make money off of, and I've written articles about this, is like the ultimate team type stuff. You know, if they didn't have ultimate team, a lot of people would be happier, because 9 times out of 10 you used to buy Madden to play franchise mode because you wanted to be, you know, like in the shoes of the owner. You wanted to customize your stadium. You wanted to you know,
well, and a lot of this stuff it's being motivated by greed, you know, because and this is the exact same problem that the movie industry is suffering from. Mm-hmm. They have these really inflated budgets. You know, video games cost more than movies do to make, which is amazing. Yeah. Okay, it's absolutely amazing, mm-hmm. And it's part of the reason why the industry's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, like that's like what's that? The Avengers game lost like what $60 million or something like that.
There's Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Hey kids, I overslept.
I saw you pop in for like a second.
Yeah, I was just seeing if you guys were still going. I was like, shit.
Okay, so yeah, we're still going, man.
Raquel was here in your stead earlier when we.
Thank you, Raquel.
Yeah, she had to drop out because she had a migraine. We're talking about Mass Effect and the issues with the gaming industry currently.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me get this comment from Mr. Tickle Trunk. Comics Division, yeah. Those green people animation of extra credit. They were never amazing, but they were also hollowed out by activists.
Yeah, there's that too. You know,
that's everything at this point. Activism's hollowing everything out.
It's funny because Steam had that sale the other day, you know, and I'm sure that all of us probably in this chat that are gamers, we probably picked up something from that Steam sale, you know, all of us that play on PC. I know that I grabbed because, God, they had Ghost Recon Wildlands, the Ultimate Edition, for some ridiculous price, like $25. And it gives you every single thing that ever came out for Wildlands. So I grabbed that. I was like, okay, you know, because I just had wanted something different to play. Now I got that, and that game came out 3-4 years ago, and that game plays better than anything that's out right now. Mm-hmm. It's immersive. There's an open world. There's a good story. There's content you're not going to run out on, and there's things that go on in the background of the world that you know, that make it a unique playthrough each time that you play.
Yeah,
you want to be engaged like that as a gamer when you play something.
No doubt.
I don't want to be engaged. Fuck women.
Well, the other thing too, which I think contributes.
You're talking about a video game. Sorry, my bad.
It's all right. The other thing too, which I think contributes to the issues with the gaming industry, is the over ambition of the companies. Like, you know, what was that game? Anthem.
Oh, Anthem was they basically screwed Mass Effect Andromeda for that game.
Yes, they did.
They did.
And part of it is that they want to do something really big, and they keep scaling things back. And that's part of the issues with a lot of game development, is that they have this pie in the sky. Hey, we're going to do all these things. And because of time, they have to start cutting it back, because they're always going to run into issues. And the other thing too that they ran into is the fact that with the Mass Effect Andromeda, they were adapting the Frostbite engine for the game. Well, if you know anything about the Frostbite engine, it's a fucking first-person engine, and they were adapting it to be third-person. And that is honestly where the majority of the time was spent in development for Andromeda, was the adaptation of the fucking Frostbite engine. And it's the reason why you got 8 months of story development.
Dude, and the Frostbite engine has been nothing but a problem, because, you know, they're running sports games on the Frostbite engine. It's like, why are you running a sports title on the Frostbite engine? Because it just you know, it just, it's not, the mechanics of it are not made for that particular genre to maximize.
And here's the other thing too, which is a very common theme. If you watch Mick Muscle's videos, a very common theme is that most video games get butt fucked because they're adapting an engine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yes, Mass Effect 2 was the apex of the series. I completely agree.
Most good games have built an engine ground up when they really want to be, successful and maximize what they're trying to do as far as their vision or how they want gameplay to unfold.
Yeah.
It's just it just kind of sucks that they sat there and shoehorned a lot of stuff into Frostbite.
Yep. So Mr. Tickle Trunk says that the only plus of Mass Effect Andromeda was they added verticality in combat. Yeah, I mean, they added a lot of really good features in the game. Actual improvements. The rest was polished turd. I like the skill system, the way that they did that. They did a lot of really cool things with the fact that you could mix and match powers. Like beforehand, you had to pick like a class and you were limited there. So yeah, I mean, they made a lot of really good improvements to the game itself, but not the story.
Well, yeah. So the thing is with like with Andromeda, especially like when you're talking about like that series, you want a progression of a story. So when you go into these planets, it is literally like you go into like a desert. Almost every planet was the same, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about something that was understandable with Mass Effect 1. I could take it with Mass Effect 1 because it was brand new. You really couldn't do much with a PlayStation. What was it, a PlayStation 3 at the time? You couldn't do much with that. But we're talking about a PlayStation 4 next-gen console. You're supposed to have been working on this thing since probably before you stopped Mass Effect 3. And every world you went to basically had like a little town and everything else was just open desert, basically. Like when you talk about a planet, now I don't expect every planet to be like Coruscant, right?
Right.
But you go to a planet, if you look at how the Earth is, I mean, it's very few spots on Earth there's total deserts. I mean, we have deserts,
right? Yeah,
but almost everything you're gonna have people there. You're gonna have something.
There's bound to be some desert planets, but it's thrown out there. And there, of course, there's your comment, Demonge and I, about Emmy being a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. It's like Mass Effect 1. I remember like every single time you get what Demonge and I said, you'd just be driving the Mako around this completely barren surface.
Basically, yeah.
Now, Master Sidearms also pointing out, that was the other announcement that came out on N7 Day was they remastering the original trilogy.
Yes, that was remastered. Correct. It's coming out this year. Well, next year, 2021.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't fuck with the story. But I would love to see it with an updated engine.
They said, from what I understand, Casey Hudson said that they will be cleaning it up. Like they're probably going to change the combat, and especially in part 1. I don't mind them doing that because part 1's combat was a little clunky.
What were they changing in part 1? They're changing the combat.
The combat a little bit.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because part 1's combat was a little clunky.
If they actually gave it like the combat from 2 or 3, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
What made part 1 so innovative was the story. The story in that was
Omnigel and everything and open a door.
Yeah.
I love that crack. That was great. Yeah. It was like, I forgot about that.
Yeah. In Mass Effect Andromeda, one of the things that was cool about Andromeda is that when you was in there, Mako Point 2, if you played the game certain ways, they would have conversations that you could hear in the Mako. That was the only cool thing I would say. Like if you was hooking up with somebody, they would mention that or something like that. They that part was kind of cool what they did in Andromeda, but really, like you say, it was a polished turd. It was a polished turd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Eric is asking, how do you feel about Sopranos movie, The Many Saints of Newark? I didn't realize that was a Sopranos. I actually never watched Sopranos. This wasn't my thing. So
is that out now?
I think it's one of the things that's coming out. How do you feel?
For HBO Max. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, same Same opinion. I was never a huge Sopranos fan, so
I watched it. I didn't watch the last few seasons, but because after a while, it's just like mafia movie. Basically, that's basically what came out to me. And again, the downside to that is we're doing a remake.
Yeah,
that's essentially what that is.
They'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, they're doing a remake. Well, it's a prequel, so it's still
is
gonna
that what
be.
it is? It's supposed to be a fucking prequel.
Yep, it's a prequel.
I mean, I don't trust anything like current day. I just don't trust anything made in 2020. Even if it's a prequel or it's a reboot, something like that, it never, ever, ever honors the spirit of the source material.
Okay, I'm going to jump all the way down because there's some comments I want to get. So, sorry, go ahead, continue.
But yeah, they'll find a way to mess it up. That's just the way that things are, unfortunately now. And we alluded to that at the beginning of the stream when we were talking about it. It's just where we're at.
Yep.
This will be having a Tom and Jerry come out too, man. I'm like,
we're talking about that.
Tom
I
and
used to
Jerry
love BioWare. So
Graceberg.
many good old games. I agree with you, Carmen. They had a lot of good games.
You guys talked about the Warner Brothers thing already, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let me get through the chats and we can give your opinion on that. So Carbon says that's because they rebuilt the tools for Andromeda that Dragon Inquisition already built. Yeah, I remember hearing that they did that for like a wide variety of reasons. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. That was majorly dumb.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see. And I know we had a few more Mass Effect comments, but there we go. Blake Sinclair, Mass Effect 3 was still a great game. It was just the ending that faulted it. Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly expected more Reaper killing, but anyway.
Yeah, that would have been cool. What would have been pretty dope is if you would have had to fight, what was it? A Harbinger.
Yeah,
they should have had you fight Harbinger because he was the original Reaper.
Yeah,
in that form. And the multiplayer, the multiplayer is still popping. You could get on the multiplayer right now and there'd be people in there.
Okay, Carmen says I played ME1 30 plus times. That is dedication. I
don't know about 30, but I did play it a bunch though.
I played a bunch too. I've never played at 30. Yeah, that is just. I hated the Mako. I really did. The Mako was
trash.
It was, and that was the reason why I didn't replay it as much. Yeah. Mass Effect 3 was so mismanaged. That is an understatement of the year.
Yeah.
For Frostbite. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of caught up now. So I'm going to add.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know I've been talking about this HBO Max business for a while, but this is something we just dropped and kind of put together. You're at least. Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of people are figuring it's going to be about this time next year that's going to be done. And that's what my source was saying is they're stuck in this drought. 3 weeks ago now, you had HBO or Disney announced they had over 70 million subscribers, which regardless of how you want to sit down and figure out the math, it doesn't matter. They are beating the out of HBO Max because HBO Max it has only 8.3 million subscribers right now, last reported. That's as bad as CBS All Access, which is dead.
Well, and also everyone in the UK is just sailing the high seas with that.
Well, and that's the other problem is HBO is going to have to try and get around all the piracy issue. And here's the thing that I've been trying to express to people, and Andre's been kind of putting in the recent editorials and stuff that I don't know if people are really picking up on because. And again, I'm not trying to put anybody down or saying they're wrong, but I think everybody's concentrating on the wrong thing here. When they see, Wonder Woman and Kong versus Godzilla now being talked about going straight to HBO Max and stuff like that. They're seeing it as, there's no theaters open. So Warner Brothers has got to do something with it. No, if Warner Brothers could just sit on these things and wait for theaters to open, they would rather do that. But they are so desperate right now to do something on HBO Max that's why the Wonder Woman thing's happening. That's why chances are Kong versus Godzilla is going to wind up there. And another reason why I'm pretty sure, and I think we're going to get into this more in a video, but Andre, I'll know what I'm talking about. I'm almost positive now that Dune's going to end up on HBO Max.
For sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead and pause it. Tony.
No, don't tell me this. No.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say that. But
no, not listening.
I have some pretty good proof. But
it's gonna go to HBO Max, and before we know it.
Well, you know what? That's crap news. I don't want to hear it. All right, I'll turn this channel off.
Oh, here we are. It's going to HBO Max. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I just had to finish that little bit there 4 days later.
Yeah, 4 days later.
But I mean, I've been talking about this for weeks. So yeah, and Dune was a big part of that announcement, and that's why we had that little clip there.
Right.
Soul Assassin, Mass Effect is amazing when fans came up with a theory about Shepard being indoctrinated. Yeah, and that's the other thing too that I completely forgotten about. Now that you mentioned it, it makes sense, right? And I think that probably was part of the game, but they ultimately had to cut because it was pretty clear that Shepard was going through the process of being indoctrinated.
Yeah, he was around them too much.
Yeah.
And that would have made perfect sense for them to take control of, the galaxy's greatest hero at the time and have them basically, what's the word I'm looking for here? Jesus, I just went blank with the technique. Trojan horse them from the inside. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that would have seemed like a good idea. But they could have done so many things. So.
Yeah, Carmen's saying I can go for hours on the indoctrination thing. Yeah, God, I mean, I remember watching like several videos talking about it, and it was just like, man, this is the problem with what could have been, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of sucks about it because there's a lot of things in there that made sense, and I wish they'd basically come clean with what the original vision was. But
did you ever watch the abridged version of that on YouTube?
The abridged version of what?
Of Mass Effect. They did a trilogy of the abridged version of it. It's pretty hilarious.
Is it all the cutscenes or?
It basically is, and it's basically like instead of Shepard basically trying to save the universe, which he still does. His main goal is to impregnate all the women and have the ultimate harem.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
That's awesome.
Basically, the same thing that happens to the
How it should be.
Yep.
Yeah. That like I said, that game was great up until the ending. I mean, I always wanted to try. One of the things I haven't tried is to lose on purpose on Mass Effect 2. So on Mass Effect 2, in order to. Because I heard that there's a way you can lose on purpose.
You can if you don't do any of the loyalty missions, you will lose. Shepard will die. Mm-hmm. He will die at the end.
What I want to see what happens if you can continue that game from 3. That would be funny. I want to see how that will work. I've never tried that part.
I don't know. That's what I was curious about too. What happens if Shepard died in 2? How would that continue on into 3? I never bothered doing it, but. Yeah,
because I remember because all right, so I never owned Mass Effect 2 initially. My buddy had let me hold it, right? And I ended up playing the game, especially after I found out Ivan Stravolsky was in it. So I started playing the game, and then when you have the loading screens, it actually said if you survive, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And being that I played the game later, when I actually did go and buy Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3 came out the next year. So I basically didn't have to wait. You know what I'm saying? So I never tried to do that because it is a bit of a job to lose on purpose.
Yeah.
You got to play the whole game and lose on purpose.
Lack of investment. Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude.
I want to see what happens though. I might do that.
Another monster. I rolled through all of Mass Effect 3 with Garrus and Tali. And that was the thing, dude. I wanted to see fucking Garrus and Shepard on a beach chilling. like
That would have been
they
cool.
talked about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too that I wasn't too keen on was the idea that the Citadel was the super weapon to wipe out the Reapers. I that was
I was cool with the idea that it was the main relay. That was cool because that's basically the whole premise of part 1.
Well, yeah,
The Citadel is the main relay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of get what they were saying, where basically they used the technology against the Reapers because basically the Reapers left them there on purpose to make sure that the new generations would speed up throughout the years.
Yep.
That's like so. Basically, the cool thing that I liked about especially when you play, part 2, or actually play part 1, you see the way they did. They kind of use like actual real science that we use for the game, where they said that now it's not a planet anymore. Pluto's no longer considered a planet, but they said the 10th planet was actually a relay that was encased in ice.
Yeah.
That was a cool ass concept. You know what I'm saying?
I thought they reclassified Pluto as a planet.
No, it's still a dwarf something. It's not a planet anymore.
I thought it was called like a dwarf planet or something.
I thought they reclassified it though.
They reclassify it?
I think so.
I haven't checked. I haven't checked recently.
Because that was Pluto's truth.
Yeah. So Putin's Power Squad. Damn, the first time I did the Suicide mission, it was tense as hell. Such good memories from that trilogy. I know, dude. I was like fucking on my seat playing that last mission because like, how's everyone gonna survive? How are they gonna make it out? And they also introduced a lot of really good characters in the second one.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Oh god, I try to remember like who my favorite characters are. God damn.
I want to let you know that what's his name, Caden. He always got the axe. I always kept the girls around.
Well, I guess you're right. They were challenging the idea, but it's still classified as a non-planet. Sorry,
it's a non-planet still. Okay.
Yeah.
He was the one I always axed as well. Let's see, Mass Effect characters.
Did you end 3 with Tally as your romance? Did you ever do that?
Tally? Yeah, I did Tally as my romance.
Did you see what she looks like without the mask?
Yeah, you mean that Photoshop?
Yeah. So there's a cosplayer that actually did her cosplay based off of that, and I was like, if that's what Tally looks like out of the mask, I'm like, hell yeah.
Tally was not supposed to look like that. If you actually saw, at times with the close-ups, her species was supposed to look very different, and they actually have concept art.
Yeah, I know. They showed that she's supposed to be more like, almost more like
kind of gray like
goldish type of, like almost like a more like a less humanoid, basically less humanoid. But I like I said, the cosplayer that did the version of the official, I'm doing air quotes, the official look of Tally, she looked good as hell like that, because she even had the 3 hands. She put the her eyes. She did. I wish I could pull. I'm on my phone, so I can't really pull it up. But it was a really awesome cosplay she did.
Trying to find like the list of. Here we go.
The characters.
Yeah, here we go. Squad members. Ashley. Oh God.
There's Ashley, Tally, Legion.
I like the Japanese chick. She was pretty cool.
Kasumi. Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty cool. I loved her abilities. Mm-hmm. But
they had
Rex was the best, and he
was. I love Rex. Rex was he just reminds me of like the whole Krogans kind of remind me of Saiyans from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like they're all warriors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Typically, when she was around, I had my squad. Liara.
Yep.
Was in my squad.
Yep, I had her.
When in 2, when I didn't have Liara, I had Miranda, because I like having biotics. Yeah,
biotics is good. Yeah, biotics.
Yeah. Morden also was a fun one. I liked Morden as a character.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you have that crazy scientist Solarian was great, and it's like, dude, when he dies in 3, oh god, that was so good. Of course, Jack is another one I liked having in my squad.
Jack is my girl, bro. Like I really like Jack. That's why I said if they'd had me in charge, I would have had a kid with Jack, and that would have been your renegade. Perfect. It'd have been perfect.
Samara was another character I also really liked.
Yes,
she was really cool. Thane was an interesting character too. The assassin. Oh god. Then you had Morinth, which was Samara's daughter. Legion was an interesting character. I mean, 2 really did have a lot of great characters. And then when you get into 3, I didn't really care for James. I liked Javik, even though he was a bit of a pain in the ass. He had some good character growth.
Yeah.
And he was definitely a part of the day one download. But yeah, Zaid was also pretty fucking cool.
Yes, he was. He was a great, and one thing I will say about Andromeda, they did try to link it up because you actually meet his son in Andromeda in one of the side. Yeah, he's in one of the side missions.
Huh? Because
remember, Andromeda is like they had to go in stasis for like 600 years to get to Andromeda. So there's no way they can get back. So, Zaid's kid would have been old enough to go there, and he was basically like a mercenary douchebag like his dad, but not as well rounded as him. But one thing I would say,
Thane's death was also really good too.
Yes.
That was very sad because the whole thing with his disease and whatnot, and finally succumbing to it was pretty interesting. So Slytherin Pinna is asking, male shep or fin shep? I prefer both. I prefer male shep, but I've played both. I've done playthroughs with both. Virginia Hay is a great voice actor.
One thing I will say about Samara, because you can romance her. It's a off romance. It's not like a main story romance. And the thing that pissed me off was that when they went to 3, they really didn't touch on that again. If you romanced her,
she disappeared.
No, you can get her. I mean, you don't play with her in the game, but she can be a part of your team for a hot second in the Asari mission.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because remember the Reapers are turning the Asaris into the Banshees.
Right. Specifically, they're doing that to the
with the Ardok Yarchi. So that's what they were doing it with. But yeah, so
I always tried to romance Samara, but it never worked out. I could never get that romance to work.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
I tried, man. I tried.
You had to keep talking to her, and
I did.
You can't talk to nobody else. You can't like flirt with anybody. You got to keep talking to her and then flirt with her all the time, and it will do it. And if you if you choose her daughter and do that, she'll kill you.
Yeah, I heard.
She kills you.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay. Thundercats Ho. Hey, how's it going? It's pretty funny that we were talking earlier. You slept and now it's your morning and it's my late evening. Mass Effect 4 was far too repetitive. They basically just changed the planet's environments from
I play Pac-Man.
That's it sucked. That game fucking sucked.
And the one thing I will say, I'm telling you like this here. So I usually don't say this, but I want to say it. If you are a fan of this series, everybody here who is a fan of it, you're gonna have to buy that damn remaster because that's gonna be the only way they're gonna say, okay, there's people still interested for us to do another Mass Effect. That's what they're doing this for. You know that, right? That whole remaster thing.
They've already announced a sequel.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a prequel, right?
I don't know what the details.
The first. I heard it's supposed to be the first Contact War. Now, if they were smart, I'm telling you, the name Shepard sells. What I would do is I have it be Shepard's grandfather is who you fight with, or grandmother, because in Mass Effect, in Mass Effect 3, you actually can talk to your mom if you play the story right. I talked to my mom, like Shepard's mother, in
Really?
the game. Yeah. It's if you got she is leading another battalion.
You know what I think? I think they're gonna do is I think they're gonna bring back Keith David, and you're gonna be playing as David Anderson.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. I would dig that. If they're actually doing a prequel, that's what I hope they do, especially if it's doing the First Contact War.
That makes sense because he was in the First Contact War.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Yeah. That's going to be crazy to be fighting the freaking the Turians because they're your allies and they're allies and the rest of them. So.
God, but yeah, Garrus was the best.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
He was like the Chewbacca of the series.
Chewbacca the series? I don't know. I wouldn't call the Chewbacca the series.
That guy is just one of the most fascinating companion characters I think you could have in any sort of game like that. I mean, it's a very rare you come across a companion character in an MMO or a hybrid MMO like that.
Okay, so Master Sidearms is saying good overview article on Ars Technica. BioWare confirms Mass Effect remaster in 2021. New Mass Effect later. Yeah. Well, like I said, they had the in-7-day announcement. And I did read it.
I still think that's where they're gonna have their barometer is gonna be how many people get this remaster. I think this is gonna happen.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the in-7-day announcement. Okay, 2020. I don't want the gear. There we go. Here's the actual blog post. And let's go and share it. And then we'll call it a day after this because I'm fucking tired.
I hear that. Okay,
in 7 days. This is by Casey Hudson, who is no longer with BioWare. Okay, so
Oh, he left again? I know he left and came back.
Yeah, he left again.
Yeah, he left, came back, and now he left again.
Meanwhile, here at BioWare, a veteran team has been hard at work envisioning the next chapter of Mass Effect universe. We are in the early stages on the project and can't say any more just yet, but we're looking forward to sharing our vision for where we'll be going next. That's basically it. From me personally, Mass Effect represents years of work and countless special memories. So every year I feel incredibly fortunate to celebrate N7 Day with players around the world. Yeah, so when you jumped on, it was after we were talking about him leaving and him.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hell, I'll just hit the back button and show you.
Where did he go to though? Go to another developer? Or?
So Casey and Mark. Here we go. Raw are both leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they going? I don't know.
That makes me a little disappointed because they were the ones who really, made that trilogy what it was.
Yeah. Well, I made the same comment because I remember Casey departed during, I believe, Mass Effect 3.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yep. And that's why I went to crap after. That's why when you actually look at that game, you can actually see in game where he left. Like that game was doing good up until you got like to those final chapters, and then it was like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we split you out into a tangent. Honestly, no, you didn't, because I was planning on talking about this. And that was all the topics. I only had 2 topics tonight because lately I've been piling topics in and we don't get to them. So yeah, so I finished the primary 2, and then we had the one that was left over because I saw the announcement. I was like, okay, we got to work this one in. Casey, no, he left right after. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I could have swore it happened during the game, but I guess I was wrong. He and Mark Walter were the only writers that handled the end of the game. Okay. It's been a long time ago. And I'm tired.
Yeah, that's what 2012.
Yeah.
That's 8 years ago. It's amazing how far that fast that went by.
Maybe because I swear to God that rumors were surfacing before the game came out that he was leaving. That may have been the case. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay. He left after the ending was finished. Rumors had it that Hudson was the only one who wrote it solo. Okay, okay. I already read that one. That's correct. Here's the other one I was looking for that she put. That was Drew that left during production. Okay, that's right.
Okay. Didn't he do some Star Wars books?
Yeah, he did the Rabbit novel.
I could have. I know that name seemed familiar.
Yeah, he did. Oh God. There was some other big stuff that he did too.
I swear, I take my hat off to writers like that, man. I could English was my major when I was in college, but I'm like, man, I can't write like that. Like, and I was like a creative writer too, right? And I just can't. I can't do that. Like, I couldn't. I'll be good for like a few chapters, and then I get like freaking writer's block.
Dude, well, yeah, it's why you got to outline shit before you start writing. Okay, BioWare needs to deliver. And the next DA, ME, or EA is sure going to axe them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a nasty habit of killing studios. They really do. It's pretty funny.
Well, I honestly think it's going to go that way. I don't expect for too much longer for them to actually exist.
I don't. Yeah, they're not long for this world.
No.
Yeah. All these big major umbrella companies are basically gobbling things up and then destroying them if they don't produce. Look at the comics, portion.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, 100%, dude.
But I know you're ready to get out of here, bro. So.
Yeah, I'm ready to call quits. There's actually one thing I want to highlight before here it pops up. Okay. They killed Pandemic. You talk about the comic book? Or something else? Or was that a game? I honestly don't know. And honestly, I'm surprised that BioWare still exists after Mass Effect and Drama. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Slytherin. All right, but let's go around and say good night to all of our panelists. We will start with you, Damajanai.
All right, everybody. It's Damajanai, DMAJI. I got a recorded video coming out for you later on today, and tomorrow Spellbroken Live will be on my weekly live streams, and then Sunday, Keepers of the Force, with myself and Fatal J will be on his channel, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for having me on.
And I'm a dumbass because what Putin was talking about was Pandemic Studio. Duh.
Oh, Pandemic Studio. Okay.
I had completely forgotten about Pandemic Studio. The last Pandemic I remember was the comic book that came out. the one from your boy Zach. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Anyway, up next we have Drew. Hashtag beware the Drew.
No, hey guys, what's up? I am Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic. I write for boundingintocomics.com, but more importantly, I have a YouTube channel and I do a nice little Thursday show called the Pegasus Actual Podcast, all about Battlestar Galactica. You never know who you'll find on there on a Thursday. Tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Comics Division himself was on there, as well as my lovely co-host Raquel Briggs. So make sure that you support her and her writing work that is out there. I believe she has stuff on Amazon that you can buy, and also you can read my stuff on Bounding Into Comics. I actually just put out a story about 5-6 hours ago that what to expect out of Tython in The Mandalorian. So So we'll see here shortly if it matches up with my story and what I speculated, which was a lot of the stuff from Star Wars: The Old Republic is what I thought we were going to see with the way Tython was going to look, some of the creatures. So we'll see if I was right, if that stuff shows up. But make sure that you check out my stuff on Bounding and check out my Pegasus Actual podcast on Thursdays. Thanks, folks.
And let me grab this super chat real quick, or super sticker coming from Crazy Cat Guy for $3. It's a super sticker with a fox saying bye-bye. And last but not least, our late joiner, Tom. How's it going, Tom?
I'm doing all right.
Okay. Anything you want to play?
Oh, yeah. Channel. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Mead Radio as well. We have a new live archive channel also. Midnight's Edge in the morning. Tomorrow morning we got Cecil.
Nice.
Cecil is life.
Wow.
Cecil is love. And his pimp will make sure he gets there, I'm sure.
And Cecil got banned from Twitter.
He did. He did
He
indeed.
got banned from Twitter?
Is it a permanent suspension?
I think so, because like his messaging, like normally if you get put in Twitter jail, you can still DM. Like his entire DM is gone. Like everything I've talked to him, like it's gone. So yeah, like it was like, hello, what the hell? But gladly, I'm glad Anna was able to step in and help out a little bit. So yeah, I have been in contact with Cecil, and he is supposed to be there in the morning if he doesn't oversleep after the Jack show.
Oh my God! All because he said
What did he
something
do?
about Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page.
Oh boy.
He
Did you see the meme that I put up there about her?
No, I didn't.
Him, whatever. Here, I'll just share it real quick. It's just a meme.
Don't make fun of the he's that they're the she's.
Yeah, more lesbian erasure.
Here, I'll show you. I kind of like this meme. Boom.
Somebody talk. We're losing subscribers.
I was doing noise.
Yeah, I know. So if Ellen Page is now a straight white male, does that mean he is now part of the patriarchy and part of the problem?
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, folks. Of course, I always forget to plug my stuff towards the end. I have the Great Reset channel. The link is in the description. Let me go grab it real quick, and I will send it to you guys right now. If you haven't gone and subscribed over there, please do so. And I will have a video up. I worked on one last night. It didn't go the way I liked it, so I'm going to redo it this weekend. Every time I tried working on the video, something happened, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just the way it works sometimes. Had to talk about the Starfire stuff this week. Like I said, I'm not abandoning content on this channel just because I have the other one. Don't forget to subscribe to the Division Live. That is where I upload all the live streams, usually within a day or two, because sometimes I'm lazy. And eventually everything makes it over to pixelnation.io as well. We also have the forums. It's been kind of vacant. I try and pop in there to see what's going on and eventually say something. But yeah, go check out those. Don't forget, I'm also on Friday Night Tights. We also have Monday night Yelling at Cars with Culture Casino. So talks a lot. And it looks like hopefully this coming Monday, I will have Raquel back on again. Sorry, I'm tired. My brain is slow. On that note, let's what do we have for here we go. This is what we will play for going out again.
Koalas in the rain.